Welcome to episode 14. It's a big one. We're back. It's 2023. We've got Sam Foutch in the chair. You don't want to miss this one. We're going to talk about how Sam got started, what he's been working on. He knows a lot about marketing. He does a podcast. He's in the real estate business. There's a lot to hear. Come check it out.
He's got the moon in his hand.
He's got the moon. Sam Foutch on the Sam Couch.
Welcome to TRIFLIX Cast. We are professional photographers and videographers talking about the latest techniques, business practices, and tech with a little bit of fun sprinkled in. I am Cole. I'm the producer around these parts. To my right is...
Dude, I'm Tristan, and I'm impressed by how well you get nailed that every time. Who's that over there again?
I've been practicing over the break.
Tristan, our creative director and co-owner. And I'm David Baker. I'm
David
IT
Baker.
manager, efficiency manager, and office manager. I manage so much stuff around here. It's all on paper and everything.
So if general manager didn't sound like you worked at a Walmart, that's what we would call you.
Yeah, I also work at a Walmart.
I feel like you just practicing in the mirror.
This is one of my
day.
20 jobs.
I practice it in the car. I'm not going to lie.
Do you really?
Yes. And somehow the three of us, we run a small media business out of Columbus, Indiana called TRIFLIX. And today is a special day because not only is this the first episode in 2023, but we have a guest today, Mr. Sam Foutch.
Welcome. The first episode?
You're the first episode of 2023, man.
I feel good now.
Welcome.
Yeah. Special guest.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Special.
Of course, man. This has been long in the works, right?
I've been chasing Cole for a long time. A lot of follow-ups.
A lot of
follow-ups.
I'm starting to, this is kind of like a trend with people who want to get a hold of me, right?
A lot of follow-ups.
Everybody's just trying to get him to talk back, and he's hard to get, and that makes him want you more.
I guess, right?
That is a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, how do you think I have so many ladies? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
And that's how you get Cole.
That's how
what I
you
was
get me.
feeling.
You just avoid him, and then you want to partner with me.
Yeah.
Just
I wanted you, but I couldn't have you.
You just gotta avoid him for a bit, and then he'll track you down.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we're going to get into who Sam is, why he's here, what he's up to, because there's some cool stuff. But as usual, we're going to start with a news story. I don't know if you guys saw it or not on the outline. You probably haven't looked at the outline today.
Nope.
That's okay. My news story title was just goats.
Oh, all right.
So I don't know if you have any... We like to guess kind of maybe what it could be about.
Yeah. Tristan, you want to go first?
Yeah. No, there's a new invasive species of goats working its way down south into Mexico.
Yeah, this is...
No way.
I think this goat's peeing on this car.
Yeah.
But this is the image that they used in the article.
Okay.
Yeah, they're an invasive species.
Yeah?
They're just rutting it up.
Rutting it up.
So, are you guessing?
Yeah.
What do you think this goat story?
What is that?
It was a...
So this is...
That's not the story you're referring to, right?
This is on the news article. That picture
So
is
that's
on
my
the
hint.
Okay.
That's your hint, yeah.
Let me see it again.
It's a goat on the hood of a car.
I don't want you to see the...
Yeah. We'll have this in the show notes for everybody.
Oh, it's not on the hood. It's on a curve.
It's on that ledge?
A ledge in front of a car.
It definitely looks like it's peeing, though, doesn't it?
It looks like
Yeah.
it's definitely peeing, and it's in a suburb.
It's
in a suburb.
asserting its dominance for sure.
I'm going to say it's got something to do with maybe the hurricane that took place in Florida. So I heard it was like
Okay.
barren land.
So like
maybe
the goats got out.
Maybe the car's like abandoned, and the goats, they're just roaming free and peeing on cars.
Dude,
Okay.
I like it.
this invasive goat.
Invasive goat species.
Hurricane season.
Yeah.
I heard it is like a barren land. So
It's
Oh, yeah?
it's supposed to be
It's
gnarly.
just wiped out.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's up?
So
All right,
what's your
my
goat
guess
prediction?
is that some influencer like Jake Paul bought a baby goat,
That's good.
and he realized, just like his mini pig, that the mini goat didn't stay mini for very long, and he got rid of the goat.
He said, nope.
I'm
Too
done.
big.
He
And
released
now
it
it's
into the
out on the
wild.
loose.
He thought it could go back in the wild. It's just Rome in LA.
It's like some magical moment, and his mind's like, "Go, be free, Jeffrey." He's goat, and he just like lets it loose in a park.
Well, you're all dead wrong.
What?
It actually
None of us are close.
has to do with the acronym.
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
That was actually my first guess. Why is there a goat?
Well,
Why is he peeing?
The caption underneath for this article, it says, "There's no debate about this goat." So there's this the Lake Superior State University in Michigan. They came out with this list of words that need to be, or that they believe need to be abandoned in 2023.
Okay.
And they're also, it's actually a list of forbidden words on their campus because they think
On
that
the
they're either
campus?
misused, overused, or like impractical or whatever.
Okay.
So goat, greatest of all time, was actually the first thing that made their list.
Because it's
Who
offensive.
has the time to think about that, though?
I know.
Who sits around and thinks, I think this word should just go away?
An overpriced
Yeah.
university.
Like, that's just, you have to be bored.
Yeah.
But goat should never go away. I don't think. I mean,
it's like,
in
it's
my
not even
opinion,
offensive. It's
I mean, I
just
definitely think it's
over-
a-
greatest of all
Yeah.
time. Everyone says that. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
No,
I
for
still
sure.
say that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it
Goat,
might
yeah.
be slightly overused.
Oh, it's overused for sure.
Yeah.
But that's just
I
crazy.
don't know. It's just like epic
Not like-
or whatever. Like we call
Yeah.
things
So
epic that like
Yeah.
really aren't epic.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if I've used the word epic in a long
No, I
time.
haven't either.
It's a dated word, but like we did use it like that for a long time, like maybe
yes.
10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, noob still floats around. It's just one of
Yeah.
those words
Oh
that's
gosh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
you throw it around subconsciously if you've ever used it before, but if you've never heard it, you're just like, what?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
don't-
this is just one of
Yeah.
those.
Is that the most offensive word that's on there?
So that's
Goat?
there's a list of 10. I'm not going to list all 10, but
Oh, bleep them all. Let's go through all 10.
goat is number 1. No, they're not bad. It's just like it's weird. Like
Yeah.
number 2 is inflection point,
I've never used that.
right? 3 is quiet quitting.
Oh, dude, I hate that phrase.
Yep. 4 is gaslighting.
Oh,
I don't mind that
There's
one.
been a lot of that going around though.
I like saying gaslighting. It's just
I
a
like
fun
it.
word.
Gaslighting.
Are you gaslighting me right now?
Maybe. Moving forward.
Moving forward?
Yeah.
The phrase moving forward.
Amazing.
What?
Does that make sense?
I say that every second.
Irregardless. Absolutely. And it is what it is.
I know who made this list. This is a
Oh, I
college.
just told you.
This is a college English professor who's tired of grading papers with like borderline third grade
Yeah,
level,
for sure.
like adverbs and
They
like
banish these words.
If it's in
pronoun-
papers,
nouns
I
and-
would maybe
Yeah, that makes sense.
agree. But like just saying like you shouldn't say them anymore. Like I agree. Like this is people have way too much time on their hands.
For
Like
sure.
they're getting bored.
Right.
Like they're just trying to think of things that's wrong. Like
Yeah.
you're trying to find issues that don't exist. Yeah.
Well, it's like whenever people like swear every
Silly.
single word, you're just like, are you out of words? So maybe this
Yeah.
is one of those cases where I think it's an English professor that's just tired.
Like filler
like-
words like
Yeah,
like saying
all,
so like yeah.
I knew some people that did that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Every other word, right?
Amazing.
They're like,
Yeah.
hey, like the other day, like I ate this like sandwich.
So like you,
Did you
you
gaslight
understand
right now?
like what I'm saying, like you know,
like, right?
like yeah,
Right?
like amazing.
You got any words that rub you the wrong way?
I mean, in terms of words in general from other people,
Or just words that
Maybe
you,
like in
you don't even
business.
like saying them?
Like, is there any businessy words that just like like kind of make you feel you're dying on the inside when you hear it over
Content,
content.
and over?
Yeah.
Content.
analytics.
I mean, nothing that just jumps into mind. I guess I'm not really focused on that when I'm talking in the business realm, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not conscious. I'm just thinking about what they're talking about, if that makes any sense
There's not
at
like
all.
but there's not like anything that's like industry term that just drives you nuts. Because I mean, there's things in our industry that we hear.
DSLR.
Yeah.
We just had this conversation about DSLR. We were reading something and somebody was trying to talk about their experience, and it was photography, DSLR, and it's like, does that really need to be
Photo.
Yeah.
right? Does that need to be part of it? You know what I mean? Like, there's certain ones it's like 4K.
Right.
Like, okay,
Dude, have I told
Stop.
you about my ABS brakes?
that has nothing to do with it.
Dude, why not?
But yeah, there's just always like,
Yeah.
there's
Right.
always those buzzwords that everybody throws around that, you know, they're like, this makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about type of stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, you know, those those TikTok reels.
Have I told you about my SEO lately?
That one.
All right, there you go.
There you go.
That's a big one.
When I hear, there you go. Thank you for saying that. SEO for sure.
Instantly triggered.
As soon as I hear a business owner tell me that they're paying for SEO, my stomach hurts.
Yeah.
Because I don't even understand SEO, and I'm a quote unquote marketer.
Hey, we do a lot of SEO, okay? So don't.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, we're quickly removing the service from our site as we speak.
Dude, we do SEO optimization.
I just see a lot of owners that, in my opinion, are scammed on SEO.
No, for sure.
They're sold this service that
It's
like
black magic.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're like, I can get you in the top 10 organically, SEO,
Yeah,
like.
Organically.
Yeah.
SEO. That to answer your
Organics up
question.
there.
Thank you,
Organically
Tristan.
optimize.
Native.
Yeah.
But Google's still huge, but when you say SEO, I mean, I try to dumb everything down. So I say, in my opinion, of what I've used at AutoPeel is add pictures to your listing. You can add the keywords to your. I mean, these are just simple things.
That's SEO.
Right. But I can't sit there and tell you.
I understand.
I know how to take you from page 38 to 1. No, I don't. I could probably watch some YouTube videos, figure it out. But I don't sell that.
It changes too much, though. That's the thing is most people like. I know there are people who can do it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, right.
But it's still
They're special.
Like 99% of agencies will tell you, I can do that, right? I can take you from page 10 to page 2.
That is, as soon as I hear an owner say they're paying for that, I'm like, please reevaluate.
It's usually a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a silly amount of money.
Yeah.
And they're just like, but I don't know what it's doing. Like the owner will say that, like they've been doing SEO for 6 months, and it's like, what had happened? I don't really know, but I'm paying for it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
It's like, are you getting
SEO.
leads?
Right.
Are you getting anything from your site other than traffic?
Yeah.
But even that, was it traffic? I mean, what traffic are we talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Just
I get
Google
it.
in general? And
We just had this conversation because we had a client who was looking to get into PPC ads or AdWords or whatever. And we're like, we don't do it.
right.
Right. But we'll find somebody that does it. Because, I mean, I think
What's the CPP?
PPC, pay-per-click.
Google ads work.
No, they do for sure.
Yeah.
Like if someone's paying like this, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw a number out there. If someone's paying $500 a month, like I would be like, if you have that sort of money to spend and you want to spend on your website, then pay for AdWords.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's based on what you're selling. So I always say a service company, Google ad makes so much sense.
Yeah.
You're searching window tint, you're Googling it. You're searching any plumbing, you're Googling it.
Yep.
You're selling a product or something like what we do. Definitely Facebook and Instagram ads.
Social
those
ads.
can make sense. So yeah, it depends on what you're selling.
Yeah, because I couldn't tell you how many times I bought a product because it sent me an ad on Instagram.
Yeah.
I was like, I want this. I need this.
For sure. No, it's real.
Those things work.
Oh, they're listening to your audio.
I always say like
They are.
It doesn't. I don't fall for that stuff. But I just found out one of the like deal websites that I use frequently. People can pay to promote their stuff on there because normally it's like Reddit where it's
Slick Deals.
So it's normally like peer reviewed in a way where people can upvote or downvote something based on the legitimacy. So they can weed out scams pretty well.
Right.
And they're supposed to disclose if something's sponsored. And apparently they take money every once in a while from certain vendors that are authentic or trustworthy. And I was like, well, how do I know if it's peer reviewed and authentic for a good quality deal?
Twitter blue.
Yeah, Twitter blue, man. So it's just like, I say that I don't fall for it because I don't go on Instagram. I'm like, I'll buy that, but
But
they
they can
still
get you.
find a way to motivate you.
They can get you outside of any of it.
Yeah.
Well, and now they all can work together. So you'll be Googling is working with YouTube, or they're owned, I believe, by the same.
Yeah.
Alphabet Inc.
Or even when you're watching commercials, those understand what commercials you're saying. They can float it on tons of different platforms. Then at some point you're buying it.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the other part about like TVs. Who was it that got in trouble? I don't know if it was Vizio or who it was, but they're literally, the TV is watching what you're watching.
100%.
That way they can then target ads back to you.
Yeah.
What you're searching on all of them. They're all watching.
Seriously. It's nuts.
There's a patent that floats around like every couple years that Sony owns. They patented an ad that can show up on your TV where to make it go away, you basically have to stand up and yell like McDonald's. And to make the ad end and stuff. And Sony owns the patent on like making you verbally say something to end an ad.
Let me spike one to you. What about the Siri ads or ads on like Alexa? Gary Vee talks heavily on those to where, and this makes a lot of sense when I heard him first talking about where you say, Alexa, where's like a pizza place near me? The pizza places will pay for ads on that.
No.
Does that make sense?
I mean, it makes sense.
Makes
I
a
guess
lot of sense.
I just never thought about
Pizza
it.
Hut will, if they're paying more in ad spend on the Alexa, they'll pop up before Papa John's.
That makes sense.
It makes
Yeah.
That's an interesting kind of.
like this is like a promoted.
I don't know. I don't even know if it's happening. I just know I saw it like on Gary Vee stuff, and it's kind of, even when I see my grandparents just talking to this thing, play this music, where I'm like, these are like they hear Alexa telling them something, they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's an interesting kind of to spin off.
I wonder if
makes sense,
how
though.
far that goes, because like I listen to Spotify all the time, and whatever platform you go to, it's like if an artist, you like, I want to play this artist playlist or whatever, and it's like, well, that artist has like 30 different people that feature on various variety of his songs and stuff.
Right.
And it's like, well, what if this feature just paid a little extra? So whenever you ask for that artist, that song with that feature that paid the little extra just made it to the top of the list every time. I don't know if they do that, but like, that's a huge rabbit hole on what if I just give a little money to just get put a little bit ahead.
Well, it's been like proven that like shuffled songs and shuffled playlists like aren't truly random.
No,
like there is some
so
like
dumb.
weird mystical algorithm they're doing.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So we had this conversation today. It's just like humans want like they want order, but that at the same time, if you have too much order, it's like a bad thing. So if you hear the same music all the time, that's almost too orderly, because like the algorithm's like, you like this, we'll play it for you. You're like, yeah, I heard it, I liked it the first 3 times, and now it's like starting to wear on me. It's like, but you liked it before, so here it is again and again.
You keep
It's
listening to it.
I was like, find me other music that's similar. And there, a lot of times, at least for the Spotify algorithm, it's been really bad about finding new songs. And it's like, I don't know what the counter thesis is to it, but I've noticed it more and more as like you brought it up. It seems more prevalent in a lot of media.
Yeah, because I don't know who that benefits. You know what I mean?
Right. Watch time, retention. Like you're using their app. I mean, especially if you have the ads on.
Yeah, I mean, they want to keep you in the app. I get that, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't benefit an artist.
More plays.
I mean, you get more plays, but
you get paid per play.
Yeah, but it doesn't. As long as your songs are getting played, you know what I mean. It doesn't matter which song it is. So it's like, even if you're getting thrown in the rotation, but like,
I mean, it could though.
they're only making so much money, so I doubt they're paying for.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, to be higher up in the list.
Well,
but
I
then,
mean,
like in the
an
long
artist has to
run,
grow
you get
somehow.
like on top charts, and then like people will do like the top lists and things, and that's kind of like free
The hit
advertising.
list.
The what?
The hit list.
The hit list?
That's what's on mine. I don't know.
Well, it's
You're like, this sounds like an
I was like,
Assassins.
whoa. You're trying to.
You're on my hit list.
So you're asking like how does it benefit an artist to get like put up in the list sooner? Like what would
Well, if they were going to pay to play.
So like if I'm in the car, I don't have 30-minute commutes, right? So it's like I have 5 to 10 minutes. That's 1 to 3 songs maybe.
Yeah, but they're making like 3 cents a hit.
But the thing
You know
is,
what I mean?
but,
Like-
but the thing is, it's not about getting a hit. It's like we're not making money on our like through YouTube on our videos or TikTok or Instagram. What we're when we post those, it's partly we enjoy doing it, but the goal is we want to be in front of more people. So we're not trying to convert anything. Like
Attention.
I'm not trying to get more money. I'm trying to be like, well, and to some degree, we're all trying to make money. But
I want you to see me, so you'll call me, and then I'll get to film your video.
But it's like Doja Cat. It's like she just blew up on TikTok, and then like within a year, DaBaby blew up on. I think his was YouTube. And it's like these artists will blow up on one specific platform after years of working, and it's like one specific song. If the algorithm shuts you out or whatever, if you just don't have that interaction, then you never get to that next level of how did I sell out a show for 100 people to how do I sell out Madison Square?
Yeah.
So it's like if I can pay $30, you know, a day or whatever that price is, and it gets me to where I want to be a year sooner, it's like how much better off would you be, or how much closer would you have been to giving up sooner? And it's like because I got that push earlier on, I was able to get through whatever it was.
Yeah. It's true.
No, ads occupy like a weird space in content. I know there's that content word, but like you don't want to be too subtle about
content.
it, because
More content.
that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about like I don't know that I'm being advertised to.
Yeah.
Like I want to be aware of it, but also it shouldn't be like too like in your face. Like you see like movies like almost make fun of it. It was like, I really love my Coca-Cola branded drink that I have every day. And they're like super on the nose. And so like there's this very small section where you have to exist in advertising, where it has to be like sincere enough, but also like upfront that this is an ad. Like, and we kind of exist in that realm when we have to make things too.
Yeah.
When we're like either promoting ourselves and things or other people.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, we don't just like go straight up. We're just like,
yeah.
Hey, we're making this video. Hope you enjoy it. You better subscribe and use us because we need money. Thanks.
Money to pay everybody, keep the lights on.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I mean, if you want to subscribe, that'd be great. Like, enjoy our content. It's fun.
Yeah.
That's a better sell.
Yeah.
For sure.
In my time, the less you sell, the more you sell.
Well, nobody liked. I mean,
No.
maybe I'm wrong,
Well,
but
so
I don't
shill-
think
the
anybody
shilling
likes
exists,
being,
right?
Right. It's that can't get a hold of Cole, the more you want to get a hold of him. It's a psychological
Right.
thing.
The
I'm
scarcity
playing with
of
his
it.
mind.
That's the same with selling, though.
Jack
Yeah.
Black. Ooh, ladies.
I know, right?
Playing with your mind.
The more you're able to not push them, there's a term in the psychology world, but the less you push, the more it comes.
Well,
is
yeah,
what I've seen.
Because at the end of the day, like, you want them to make the conscious decision,
Right.
Even though, right, subliminally, you had a little bit of play.
Subliminal messages.
Well, I mean, seriously though, I mean, it's also like, I mean,
Because you don't want it to be a bad relationship with the client in terms of,
No.
they
I
didn't.
forced you to work with me.
Right.
I just,
Needs to work both ways.
yeah. And and you also, I mean, you got to know who you're working with, right? I mean, that's part of it. Like I've pushed a lot of people into it, not in a bad way, but just like, hey, I'm here. I mean, we just talked about that, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm here. Like, don't forget about me. Like, hey, I'm here. Like, don't.
Exactly.
I'll be here the next day,
Yeah, right.
and the next day, and the next day until you sign this. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's
yeah,
like,
right.
and then we'll work together, and you won't regret it. I know you won't.
Yeah. Recommendations are a big thing too. Like people's word of mouth.
Gosh,
Word of
dude.
mouth is huge.
That's
Like,
it.
that's number
Yeah.
one.
If you're able to come in and say that you've done work with this person or they know that person, done.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
It's like priceless.
That's how we got my
I just used it
apartment.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works every time.
Yeah. I've been talking to this person in this company, really trying to like, I want to get in with them. We want to work together. And we got really close. We just had like I don't know what it was. It was just, they were at the end of the year, budget, cost, all that stuff. And so I'm like, hey, it's 2023. We want to work with you. And then I was like, also in your area, we've done this. We've worked with people that you know. And it's like, check this out, and it's like that extra.
How were
we
you
didn't have
talking
that.
to him?
Email.
Email. And they're replying?
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
I honestly, I really do. I know it's maybe considered old school, but like, it works pretty well for us.
Really?
I mean, especially with the larger people,
How do you do
otherwise I'm
that?
like text and call, but
Larger people, you're just like Googling their website and finding their
these
email?
are
or-
normally somebody I've made in touch with somewhere else, whether
Okay.
it's in
So not just
person.
complete cold.
No, not complete cold. No,
No, it's like a,
no.
like
Because
a
I mean,
little
again,
toe
to
in the
get
warm water.
sometimes, I mean, it's like just to even get the email address
Yes.
is half the battle.
I got to ask, how'd you get bone dry?
Ah.
That's a big one.
That
Yeah.
was
How'd you pull that off?
that was like an internal
Just knew somebody.
employee, knew somebody, had a family member working there,
Ah.
and they just happened to also need somebody in a
Right.
pinch. We get a ton of business from people that call us and they go,
Need you fast?
my photographer dropped out of my wedding, or my videographer can't show up to my event. And 90% of the time, it's not always now because we're a little busier, but it's like, hey, for X amount, I mean, you're going to get a rush fee, but like, hey,
Right.
we'll come in and do it.
Right.
And we feed off of that. We love being able to come in and swoop in and
Because they
save
love
the
you
day.
now that
yeah.
you saved the day.
Yeah.
That'll go hit their subconscious. That'll go far as well.
Yeah.
They
And
need you again.
we have worked a ton with Bone Dry now, and we're hoping to.
Are they just in Indiana?
No,
No.
they're
Okay.
nationwide.
Okay, so they're big boys.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have a whole team, marketing team.
They sent us on a trip. They're actually, the funny thing is their marketing team, a lot of people that are in there are actually like ex-Disney people.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's some really smart people working there. I mean, their marketing is beautiful.
I wouldn't expect that.
But yeah,
all
no,
red,
yeah.
everything.
They sent us on a trip and everything. We went to like 3 or 4 different states and did interview videos with different locations. Like,
Interesting.
it's been a trip. It's
for
been a lot
you.
of fun. So
They made
awesome.
both our top 5s this year.
yes. Yes. In favorite projects and
Well, yeah, that's it.
Money spent.
You went on a trip. I mean, what more can you ask for?
I know, right?
That's a dream.
We were able to do the whole thing,
Right.
quote it, build in the travel costs, and like go through the whole, and it was funny too because we took my car. We had everything in the back of my car, and we drove through 4 or 5 different states, and everybody was like, "You got all the equipment in that little car?" And we're like, "Heck yeah, man!" It was a fun time.
That's good stuff.
Got to eat camel.
We did.
I've never eaten camel.
Whoa,
It's
that's
not
weird.
bad.
Yeah, no,
Really?
Tastes like chicken?
What's
No,
what-
it,
like-
it
just
tastes
like
different. It tastes like a lot of that stuff was super different. There was
Yeah.
like we go into this place and it's like this exotic meat place, and it's like you can get hamburgers or whatever, right? Sausages. It's like you can get the different formats, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we go in, we're like, we want to try all of it. So what's the best way to like try all the meat? And they brought us a meatball each of each one.
Interesting.
And so we sat there and tried I don't know what it was, 16 different animals or whatever.
Wow. Try elk.
I think it was.
I can tell you what we tried. I got it right here.
Yeah.
We had Angus. These are all meatballs. Just to clarify. It was Angus, bison, bunny, dry aged. I assume it was beef. Duck, elk, kangaroo, camel, because they were out of lamb, so they substitute with camel.
when you have lamb, just get you some camel.
Just get a camel instead.
Venison, wagyu, and wild boar.
That's crazy.
It was nuts.
Wow.
Little place like
It's called
Yeah.
The Game.
yeah.
I
There
feel
was
like they could sell that like so easily.
I
Like,
know.
I want to order that right now. I
yeah,
haven't tried I've tried 3 of those.
and they had a cool like liquor selection and stuff. Like they did it up right.
Oh, is that where you guys got the rum bottle?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, our waiter was awesome, and he was super chill. We talked the whole time. We were there for hours, just like working on stuff and eating. And Tristan was like, "I want something with rum in it," and he goes back behind and he's like, we don't really have any, but he's like, "There's this one bottle of gingerbread rum." And he's like, there's a little bit left. And he's like, it's from a Christmas party like 2 years ago or whatever. And he's
like,
like, it's
yeah,
still
it's
back here.
totally
He's
fine.
like, do you want it? And he's like, yeah, I'll finish it off.
But that was delicious.
It was really good.
It was actually really good. And he was like, we were like, can we take the bottle with us? And he's like, yeah. So we took the bottle with us just to commemorate,
Right.
part of the trip and meeting this guy.
Yeah.
We liked him so much. Like if we were that's the size of company to be able to do it, we would have hired him and moved him to Indiana.
Yeah.
No way.
His
He
sales.
was one of those people that was a younger dude,
You could
just
tell.
like he was in school,
Right.
working his butt off to pay for things and do all that.
I
And
think he was medical.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like neuroscience or something
he
like
was
that.
something in med school of some sort.
Was sharp as a tack.
Those
And
are the
this-
guys you need.
the dude was awesome. Like he was a good salesman. He was
Right.
super personable. Like he knew his stuff. He paid attention, and he killed the whole thing.
But
So,
also
you're
we
just
don't-
like, I need you to sell for me because like you're killing it, dude.
Right.
We also don't have health insurance for the company right now, so it's like hoping we can work something out with him.
Maybe we could
No pennies yet.
get some of that first. Before we start paying to move people here.
No, I get it. That's why. I mean,
No
Yes.
bennies yet.
So if you're ever in Louisville, Kentucky, it's called Game Restaurant, and it's off 64.
Interesting.
which I mean,
It's not too far away.
Yeah,
Louisville is
too.
an hour from here.
Yeah.
Dang.
If you go 95,
Game restaurant.
Game Restaurant.
I may have to write that one down.
I called Tristan on the way home the other day because I was
Yeah.
coming back from Alabama and I was coming through town and I go, hey man, I was like, it's not far at all. It says I'm only an hour away from Columbus. As I'm weaving through traffic.
You speed, don't you?
Oh yeah, I have a radar detector.
Oh, okay.
Well, I
That makes
have
sense.
2 out of my 3 kids. They live in Florida.
Right.
So when we meet on breaks, like we meet in Athens, Alabama. So it's a 5.5 hour drive from Indiana.
Right.
So it's like when I'm going to pick up the kids or I'm coming home, like I want to get back.
Yeah.
And
I
so
don't
I'm
blame you
normally
there.
just throwing sport and turn up the volume on the radar detector.
Right.
That thing has gotten me out of so many jams. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
bet.
I was a ticket magnet as a kid, so
How
like
many?
I had a ticket every year from like 16 to like 22 or 23.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's a lot of tickets.
it's a lot of tickets.
Holy
We
crap.
can look you up on the my case.
I was gonna say my case is pretty stacked.
Populated.
It's got a lot of offenses. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of stuff. We've talked about like a lot of this marketing,
Yep.
SEO, your favorite word,
Of course.
paid ads, social, all that stuff. Let's. And now, a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Coffee House 5. With locations in Franklin and Greenwood and soon a third in Bargersville, Coffee House 5 is Johnson County's premier independent coffee shop to relax, study, or meet friends around great coffee and great food Monday through Saturday. Whether it's a handcrafted espresso or a single origin pour-over, you'll enjoy the freshest, smoothest coffee possible roasted in-house at their Franklin location using a unique airbed roasting process. And don't forget to pair your coffee with a ham and cheddar scone, biscuits and gravy made with their award-winning Parmesan chive biscuit, or any of their other pastries and sandwiches prepared in their Franklin kitchen using family recipes in a style they call Midwest comfort food. As if that's not enough to get your attention, Coffee House 5 is a for-benefit coffee house. All profits are invested in building a stronger community through their support of local mental health services, which you can read more about on their website, coffeehouse5.com. So next time you're in Franklin or Greenwood, and soon Bargersville, stop by Coffee House 5. Let's take just a slight rewind. Obviously, you know what you're talking about, but these people need to know why.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, just for funsies,
Okay.
give me the background on Sam for leading up.
In terms of just business?
No,
or
give me
the whole 9 yards?
Not, you don't have to give me the whole thing, but like we want to know.
I got
know,
it.
What got you to where you are now?
Okay, so fresh out of high school, like most kids, they push to go to college, so you do that unless you want to do trade.
Yep.
Go to Ivy Tech for 2 years, just that business major, no idea what you're doing type vibe. I'm like, this thing isn't going to work. I feel like everyone says this, read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, started making Gary Vee your god, started consuming his content.
Yep.
Now you feel like you're on top of the world. So dropped out of school for a year, took a year off. Tried tons of oddball jobs, and I'm just, one day give some backstory. My dad owns a company called Auto Appeal, and it's a window tint business. And one day I was just probably tired of all the jobs, that I've been trying, and I'm just like, Dad, let me come in for a day. And to get, our relationship with my parents was awful at the time because I thought I knew everything. I'm going to be a millionaire in 5 minutes. I'm going to be a
Gary Vee says so.
I'm going to be a business guru. I know it all. I read like 3 books.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's real.
Dude, I love it.
20 years old. And so I go and work for my dad, and it was awesome. It was I call it intuition or synchronicity. The guy who was working the position that I have currently quit that day. No called, no showed. Like he'd worked there for years. And it was one of those where my dad's like, well, because I was just going to clean, do some garbage, who knows. And he's like, well, here you go. Throws me out to the wolves.
Here's
retail
your position.
Yeah, here's your position. But that was everything. Auto Appeal has built my... I've had a sales background. I've done, the garage sales. I've sold stuff up until this, but this is when I'm really battling with... I shouldn't say battling, but it can be a battle.
I get what you mean, yeah.
Communicating with customers, answering phones, doing sales calls. The amount of stuff I learned there, just boom. But to fast forward, the first year was nice at Auto Appeal because when you're working for your dad, you can try things without being fired. It's real. So that's where I was able
Nepotism.
to... Yeah.
Hey, Shaquille O'Neal says as long as it's earned, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I was able to dabble, because even my perspective of social media was like, it's not the greatest, whatever. But once you understand social from the business perspective, that it can bring in leads, that it can create customers, that was interesting. So I started just posting, God knows what... We'll have to get rid of God. I don't know if that's a bleep or not, but
you're good.
Who knows what
Well.
content I was putting out was probably gross. But yeah, I was playing with them. I was posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram, and you start to understand. You're like, well, I could try the digital marketing stuff. And I started doing I don't even know. Claiming I do websites, claiming I post on social media, all this, and then I'd say from there it moved into with Cam, where we've did some ad stuff for some certain clients. I wouldn't say we've fallen out of that, but he's definitely stepping into he's got a business where he manages Airbnbs. I didn't know if you knew that.
No?
Yeah. So that's what he's like. I'd say 99% he does. He may have a few ad clients left.
Okay. Well, that makes sense why I've shot a couple properties for him.
Oh, Well, there you go.
But I didn't. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
like
you
he's
know,
all in on that. That's
Gotcha.
that's what he's done, and it's fine. You know, if what's what he likes to do, if that's
Yeah.
what's making the money, that's great.
if it works.
But the interesting part to backtrack was on the interview side, what I'm doing now, it was all about, I always was like, man, I want to do radio. I've always wanted to do that kind of stuff, even in high school. But what I would notice is I would Google like how much they get paid. So I'm always thinking, well, you know, it's not very much pay, and
Yep.
you're kind of constricted to what they want you to say. You just don't have control. So again, I was actually 20. I started a podcast interviewing anyone. I mean, it would be from my dad to just entrepreneurs I meet, bringing my equipment in a tote, walking in, setting up stuff. Don't even know how I was able to manage audio, let alone video. But that led into meeting Wyatt, the studio guy, and somehow I weaseled my way to being able to interview him, and then we started doing interviews there, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward probably a year and a half ago, I still think about selling real estate, but it'll probably be just like how you've done it, where I enjoy this.
Yep.
Maybe I'll go referral mode, because I do feel like I could dish some leads somewhere. But I was like gun home, like I gotta sell real estate, which I was able to help my grandparents sell like for sale by owner. So I got to taste it a little bit. But you took the pictures for that.
Yep.
But I'm definitely liking the what I'm doing now. But man, I'm bouncing back and forth. Sorry about that.
You're good. I'm following you.
Okay, that's good. As long as you guys are following me. So
I am. I don't know if these guys
yeah,
are.
Yeah,
I'm going forward and backwards is what's happening here.
I think I got it.
Okay. But so I started doing a barter with Wyatt, where I probably was doing sales for him, something, and I was bringing in real estate agents and investors to interview them. And it was about episode 9. So I remember I did 9 of these for free. I remember I got a message from Josh Stilmagani at White Stag Realty, and he goes, "How much are you charging for this?" And I'm like, "What?
Huh?
What'd you just say?"
Somebody give me money?
Yeah. Someone will give me money. And from that episode till now, fast forward, I think a year and a half to 2 years, the rest have been paying clients.
Okay. I didn't know Josh's episode was the turning point. That's cool.
It was a start. It was he was the one who's like,
Yeah.
how much you charge for that? And obviously it's grinded its way to becoming, I mean, you start doing different services and in and out, but now it's just, I interview you, we talk about your business, we hit questions that allow for clips / content / marketing to then be posted on your social media. And I always do advise, A, please post the clips, and B, you could run ads with them. So,
Yep.
but yeah, if that answers that question.
Yeah.
I went back and forth a lot.
You're good, man. You're good.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm rocking that right now. I still work for my dad 3 days a week, and then I work for myself 2 days a week. So I still have that happy medium.
That's a sweet gig,
balance.
though, right?
It's
to be able to kind of like
Oh
work
my
your
gosh.
way out in.
That's the recommended method. So like a lot of artists, a lot of people that want to do their own venture that's a little more, I would say creative in a way, but they say find something stable for
Right.
3 days a week
Right.
and then invest in yourself the other 2 plus weekends. So 4 days a week, hopefully.
Yeah, and then we went full bore with nothing else.
I still think going full bore makes a lot of sense too if you can swing it.
I've
If
heard
you
it.
can.
I've heard it so many different ways.
Yeah.
And when I started in the real estate industry, everybody was like,
Go all in.
if you don't go all in,
You're
you'll
not-
never build your business.
Right.
And you can always tell the part-timers from the full-timers, and
Right.
that's fine,
Right.
right? I mean, to each his own.
Yeah.
And I mean, the dues aren't enough to make you not keep your license, even
Right.
if you're not selling. You sell one house, you could pay your dues and put a little cash in your pocket.
Right.
So it makes sense.
But I mean, that's like,
But I
like
get
if
it.
you have to buy paintbrushes, like as an artist, or if you have to buy camera gear or something, it's like
It's
if you
part
don't
of it.
have that initial investment, that's where that like pay rent money, comes into
Yeah.
place. Like
Yeah.
you need something that can, if you can like live on the bare essentials
Mhm.
and you can squeeze 3 days, maybe it's only 2 days,
Right.
maybe if you make enough money per day. And then just finding that extra 3 to 4 to 5 days a week that
Right.
you can just invest in yourself.
Mhm.
Because it's like, if you're young and
Right.
you're able-bodied, it's like investing in yourself's worth more than, any financial advice for stocks or
For
anything
sure.
like that. It's like if you feel like that's something you're called to do. Not everyone, I think, should go that route, but
Yeah.
I think if you ever want to make a name for yourself, start a podcast, start I don't know, whatever, start a media company. It's a pretty good route.
So would you hope at some point to be able to have like a on-site studio that's your own? Or where do you see kind of taking?
You know, it's funny you bring that up. Because my parents are going to retire in Madison, Indiana.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Beautiful. And I plan on retiring there. I'm only 24, so it'll be a while. But I thought about that vision in my head, but then it's like there's just not a lot happen as much as I thought there to make that happen.
I got you. Yeah.
This is like what's the appeal to you down there though?
Well, I like all the businesses right there in town. I thought I could just hit them all and be the marketer that brings it all together. But it's not as big as you think.
Yeah.
At least from like there's only a few billboards, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. The appeal to me is just my parents are there. My dad will be retired. His partner's also an entrepreneur. They'll have to do something. Maybe storage unit, some type of investment. They won't be able to sit on their hands and knees all day. So, you know, I'd have some hopeful capital to make some noise with them. But yeah, the more I dig into it, I think that where I need to be is downtown Indianapolis. But I also like the idea of using other studios to then partner and build clips out of that.
Yeah, because I mean, you could take it either way, right? That's the only reason why I was curious about it. Because I mean, we've talked about it too with a bunch of different parts of the business. You're like, where do I outsource, right? And what do I do in house,
right?
And the main reason we did this is because it's convenient,
right? Definitely,
it's super nice to. I mean, we used to break this down and put it back up every time.
That'd be awful.
That was a nightmare.
Yeah, that was the worst.
That is the worst.
Consistency was hateful, and I'm big
too.
I'm big on consistency. But that was when we were doing it in your house.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know,
yeah, my shot was different every time. And
that's my favorite part about it.
It was so weird.
You never knew where David was going to be.
I had a different microphone.
We didn't have controlled exterior lighting, so the lighting was uncontrollably different every single time.
That's rough.
The windows were thin, so you'd get the ambulances driving by and all that.
It just added to the ambiance.
Yeah. It did. A downtown podcast.
Humble beginnings,
you know. Very humble.
It's just like, you know, Apple in the old garage. Mm-hmm. You know, that was our garage. Your house.
Yeah. I always kind of wanted to do an episode, just find like a really big empty field and just have a wide shot and do a podcast out there.
Dude,
that'd be awesome.
I thought about that after the
field cast.
In the field.
Joel Haver was talking about I just think the shot's pretty. And it was like,
dude, you could
call it do like at sunset or something.
You could call it all the fields, kind of like all the feels, but it's the fields.
All the fields.
The reason it came up though is because Kat was asking like about what are the advice we would have to start a podcast, and that's going to be some social post that she was managing for us. And I started like thinking of a list. I was like, find a quiet room, and then you start questioning. It's like, why? Yeah. Why does it have to be a quiet room? Because like in video making or in any profession, once you become an expert, if you want to call it that, it's like, you know what the rules are, and then you can ask, when can I break them, or why would I break them? And it's like, there's no reason to shoot in a quiet room if audio isn't the utmost importance, because sometimes story or location is more important.
No,
so it's like if you're at CES right now and it's like people are loud everywhere, it's like, let's go find a quiet room. We can't interview out here. It's like, no, it's like, it's a big electronics show.
So you want it to feel like you're at CES.
Yeah, there's a ton of people, like people are talking and moving around. That's part of the environment. So it's like, why couldn't we just like, I mean, other than pack up and tear down, weather's completely,
it's a lot of gear.
Depending on all that, it's like, I'd love the idea of just going out to a field for at least one silly little episode for us.
Well, I was listening to the footage from our interviews for a video series going to be coming out soon. And it was either you or Tristan talking about how when you're working with clients, sometimes they have a vision that just creatively isn't possible. And that also brings in the constraints of like what you can do with like your video or audio stuff. But then you can find ways to break those rules. Yeah, and try to make it theirs, because that's ultimately like you have the, you know, like the very like kind of sterile like goal of like just like it needs to be this type of content, but also you want it to make it theirs, and like you don't want it to be boring and like, hey, this is John. I'm selling,
checking the boxes.
I'm selling toilet parts. Come buy it.
Toilet parts.
But you want it to be interesting and engaging. You want it to be unique and memorable and like fun. And so like you do have to know like when to break some of those rules and make it unique.
Yeah, and I think that was Cole's point on the soon to release Meet the Team videos. We're talking about the value of working with us.
Yeah.
Let's go full shill. It was like, every once in a while clients have really creative ideas or really plain ideas. And it's like, how can we spruce it up a little bit? Like what can we offer to make it our own? Because one of the selling points that we lean into is like the personality of our company and our style. It's like, you could hire us for a cookie cutter project, but those aren't necessarily the things we pursue.
Right.
So if somebody comes to us with a project that's either too simple or unattainably difficult, it's like we want to find that middle ground of offering our own style so that they're happy with the product, but also we're not compromising like the artistic integrity of like, all right, we're a little factory and we make videos and in comes we churn the wheels, it grinds it goes out. And then as you're growing a business, that's a part of it, but that's not the end all be all, unless you just have a ton of employees and they love doing that. Maybe that's something you choose to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll be our route though.
Nah, you got to throw a little flair on there, right?
Right.
So with talking about podcasting, like we've talked about some of the trends that you see lately, and I'm assuming you probably have a list of other podcasts that you probably listen to on a...
Not really. Is that crazy?
Really?
I
So
don't.
what content do you consume?
Yeah.
So a lot of Joe Rogan, I should say.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, but I don't watch the full thing. It's just so long.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
get that.
little ones.
I mean, 3 hours is...
He
That's
does
a
those,
long time.
He does those twice a day.
No.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
he's recording 2 of those a day, every single day, 5
Hey,
days.
man.
a
This
week.
makes sense though. He's
You paid
making
me $100 million.
Yeah.
I record 4 of those
$200
a day.
I could swing 6 hours of my day doing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
6 hours sounds like nothing, right?
Yeah, for 200 mil, we could make that work. But I don't consume a ton in terms of podcasting.
Interesting.
And it's terrible. I don't even listen to my stuff after I do it.
Well,
Do you guys do that?
We don't
Okay.
really.
I tried
That makes
it.
you feel better.
I tried it. It's too hard to keep up. Like if
Yeah.
I had the time, maybe, but it's not from a lack of interest. It's just when you're producing so much, it's hard
Right.
to keep up with it all.
No, I
And I
agree.
know you're staying steady with it too. You got a lot of content going out.
Yeah, and so to have to listen to all my stuff, it's like I get tired of myself. Like, shut up, dude.
No, I get it. I get it.
Who's this
I
guy?
pull it up
Yeah.
every once in a while just to make sure that like quality's still sounding good.
Right.
You know what I mean? That like we're still on par with where we are in consistency and there's nothing weird going on.
Right.
And I'll listen to maybe like the first 10, 15 minutes.
Yes.
And then I have to
I'll tell you what I did just do with Wyatt. We watched all of our old stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that was gold, dude.
That's
like,
a lot
I'm
of fun.
talking like 2 years ago stuff. Like
We were just doing that actually.
heaven.
Well,
Before you
how
came
was
in.
that? How was that experience for you though?
For me, it was just incredible.
In a
You're
way,
gonna have to
elaborate a little bit.
Just of how much you've grown.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I
can
mean-
see the stark contrast.
Oh man, it was even for Wyatt too. Like he came out and he's like, because he does a lot just besides the studio stuff. He's just like, he was more grateful for all the fires he had going on now, seeing what he had going on then. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's that does that make sense on that sheet? But yeah, it was really interesting to see the past stuff. I love that. Love
Yeah.
to see it.
And I
It's
think
like,
I think
you-
that's smart.
well, you lose sight of what you're doing. You're in it every second of the day. You lose sight of what you're building and how much better you always get.
Yeah.
And when you really get to reflect and see, it's like, dang, maybe I am actually doing something. Maybe I am getting better. Maybe my craft is looking better.
Yeah.
So I don't
You
know. That's
You should do it more often because like so part of my job I critique a lot of our work.
Right.
It's like, hey, he'll get done with an edit and I'm like, okay, because our rule is it's not supposed to. A piece of content does not leave and go to the client until at least one other set of eyes has seen it.
I need to get that rule.
Well, it's tough because Tristan, he'll sit there and edit a video and he might have 15, 20 hours of staring at this thing, right? Over the course of sometimes a single day. And
Yeah.
it's like, you can't.
You go brain dead.
You do. And
Yeah.
even just like long edits for me, it's like eventually like I'll stand back.
How would
and-
you be able to notice a mistake?
Exactly.
You're just
I'll have my wife look at it and I'll be like, does this look as yellow as it looks to me? And she's like, nah. And I'm
Right.
like, okay,
You're
then
just seeing stuff.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So it was nice because we saw some of
I know
like,
that one's personal too.
yes, it is.
Blue Ducks.
Tristan
Color shift.
he's been working on this like content creation for a long time and he was doing stuff on his own on YouTube and like I've made some things, but the contrast of like content creation, he's made a bunch more.
Right.
So today we were looking back on it, and I was like, oh man, I was like, dude, you've come a long way.
Yeah.
Like it helps a ton.
Oh, dude, it really does.
Because on a day-to-day basis, it's small things.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I see this, or maybe your coloring's off here, or maybe you missed this cut, and it's like that's basic stuff. But it's like then seeing
here.
it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And I was like, okay, never mind. Like you've you've come a long way, homie. Like
Yeah. Well,
you
that's
know?
why I liked listening to the old podcasts and watching them. Was like,
It's great.
your mannerisms are weird, and it's like, all right,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
don't do that anymore.
Oh yeah.
You learn a lot.
Yeah.
Like you get more comfortable on camera. You kind of get into the flow of like how a conversation goes.
How to
when you're-
work.
It's like
how to use a
sitting-
boom pole.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that video. He seriously.
that was so funny.
No. I show up to his
good.
house and he's like, "We're gonna film a video," and I was like, "Okay." I'm like ready for like a script and outline something.
Nah.
And I'm not usually in front of the camera at
Right.
that point. And we sit down and he's just like, "Here we go," and it hits record. And he's like, starts talking. He's like, "Welcome to the channel, guys," and I'm just like,
Mute. Ghost.
and he's like, "What do you think, Cole?" And I was like, "I think it looks good." It was
Yeah.
it was horrible.
One of our most viewed, highest lead video or like conversion video.
Oh yeah, we've
It's
gotten so many leads
silly.
from that video.
There's so many people that like, I want more content like this, and we never made
This
anything
video
else
you're
like
talking
it.
about?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you more after the show.
Yeah, it's really funny.
It's TRIFLIX's best kept secret.
Interesting.
But
You've gotten leads from it too?
yeah.
Yes,
That's crazy.
Yes. It's actually it's a large piece of like our reputation.
Did you guys ever play sports where you had to like review film afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was football.
Football.
Yeah. How? What do you? I don't know. Did you enjoy doing that at the time, or were you just kind of like at that age where you're just kind of zoning out? You're just like, whatever.
Both.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say both.
Yeah.
But I mean, it helps. I mean, you have to be able to watch the mistakes you made on film to be,
Exactly.
I don't know.
It only took one short film as me as one of the actors, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not good at that.
Right.
We're not doing that again."
You're
Right.
like, I don't have the
we were
time
all
to
three
improve.
like, okay, we're never starring in one of our short films ever again.
But that's the wrong
Yeah.
attitude. I mean, it doesn't have to be that
Okay.
attitude, I would say.
I
Yeah.
just sometimes though, it's like I don't know. It's like if you put me out on the football field, people be like that. Yeah, I
That
could
boy
get
don't
better,
know how to play.
but like,
Do I want to?
yeah, you know what I mean? It's
Are
like,
you out on the field like every day practicing? No.
And I like to leave that for the people who have the natural talent and ability
Yeah.
and drive to do so.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't have to, though. It's like you have a finite amount of time, and there are things that you can pursue professionally, and there's things that you can pursue recreationally.
Yeah,
That's
true.
how I
It'd be
view
fun.
it. And it's like
I get that.
I am on the other side of the camera because that's professionally what I'm better at. I enjoy being in front for like the acting and stuff. If given the opportunity for the certain type of project, like for
Yeah.
the improv stuff, I love it. I love being
Oh,
able to
yeah.
make our goofy little videos
Yeah.
and stuff.
We can be ourselves.
So,
But I want to get better at that so we can actually produce our own not high level acting, but like enough that you could convey something for a story and it would be okay.
Yeah.
Because like, you see that with like Corridor and like Jake is like a producer, and it's like over time he can actually sort of act in them, and Rin can like read off facts without being super boring. It's like super dry. It's like you develop a little bit of a personality over what 12 years they've been producing. It's like we've only been at it for a year.
So I guess what we're talking about is the difference in the type of like video that we're making. Because for the 48-hour
sure.
challenge,
Yeah.
which is what we were talking about, the first one we all did together, it was
Wanted to
called
win.
Vitalian. And we were all like starring in it. We also all wrote it and we're trying to film and direct it.
Yeah.
And like we showed our weaknesses. And so we want it to be like us showing off what we can do.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
that's what
Yeah.
48-hour for us has become. And that's why like the next year we did the new one called Nuts About You, and like we got a whole bunch of awards for it.
Yeah.
But we still want to be able to do the fun silly content where we are in front of the camera.
For sure. Because
But-
it's hilarious and it's
Yeah.
cringy.
Yeah.
But like that was also like a 4 or 5 person team, and we went to like a 10-person team the next
Yeah.
year.
Well, the short films, like the 48 hours, are like a game. Like
Right.
in sports, like that is the game. But
Where
all
you
of
need
the
to
fun-
perform.
Yeah, all
Yes.
the fun little things in between are that's the practice. Where it's like, yeah, you wouldn't want to go play football right now without any. It's like I wouldn't draft you on my team.
I get it.
However,
I wouldn't want you to.
However, if you like actually
Put me on the
train,
bench.
I might let you sit bench. You
Yeah,
know,
see?
just to make it. But it's like,
No, I get
you
it.
only
And
have
I-
so much time, and
I'd like to make a cameo.
exactly.
I'm like, I could make a cameo.
Like,
I just
how-
don't need to be the lead actor.
Well, it's
No,
like
no,
how
no.
fun would it be to do like the whole the guy that did Ragnarok, the director Waititi,
Taika.
Taika Waititi. It's like how cool would it be to be a director or a producer, and then you just throw yourself in for a couple scenes and like play this character that you enjoy for fun, because it's like he doesn't have to. He makes more than enough money. He doesn't have to act.
Yeah.
He just enjoys doing it. So it's like to like try something out one time, which I fully believe everyone should try everything at least one time.
Yes.
Just, you know, it's like little kids with food. Just try it. Then you figure out if you like it or whatever.
If you don't like it,
Yeah.
spit it out.
But it's like, I don't think you should just give up on the first try if you got something out of it. You're like, just maybe give it a couple more tries and stick with it. So hopefully we can get you to both on camera a little bit more before 48
Sure.
next
Yeah.
time.
I think that there's always things to improve, and I think we just identified like, all right, let's make sure that these elements are golden, and then we can figure out the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, from a business perspective, the one thing that's going on in my mind is how you're saying getting more or less be insecure in front of the camera as TRIFLIX as a whole.
Yeah.
Feels
Yeah.
goofy, whatever, but the consumer wants to see that.
Really?
I think.
Yeah.
Like, because
The real stuff.
The real stuff.
Yeah.
The people who like know my dad know he's not, I don't want to say me, but he's doesn't have that go personality. He's a very introvert, whatever. But when when we do videos, he tries to act mean. He tries to play this character of himself because that's what people who know him know. So I don't know. It leads to a much more. That's like our best viewed videos. It's like when my dad is in his own element. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I get
So
what you're
it's
saying.
just that from a business perspective, like some people get so caught up in like this, gotta be perfect, gotta be all the time,
No.
on it. Dude, show what you're like, show what's really going on. That's what they want to see. You're a business, okay, but you're also a human, you know?
Yeah. Right.
You know? So I think in response to that, it's definitely important to just be yourself. Show that in front of your potential client or just the people who actually view you. I don't know. It just gives that better bonding.
No, I get it.
You know?
I think that's been one of the beautiful.
And you guys seem to do that a lot,
We try.
which is good.
It's we've had a lot of internal conversations about it, but I think that at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I don't know. Some companies have pillars or whatever. It's
Right.
like their core foundation. We never listed out all of them, but I know that's one of ours. It's one of mine at least.
Yeah,
the authenticity.
Being
genuineness,
genuine, for sure.
being authentic, and I think that again, I was saying I think it's one of the beautiful things that we've gotten from social media is that it has also pushed businesses into being more authentic.
Right.
We were talking about that with TikToks and the more short form stuff. How they're much more like informal
For sure.
and like kind of more in the moment and very low quality, but
Yes.
like high on the information. Like it could
Right.
just be like some weird little specific thing,
Right.
and like you can tell someone just threw it together, but it feels more real that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the real helps when it's really, you know.
Yeah. You're not going to everybody's about pages now and everybody's in a
Yeah.
suit. Like I
Suit
enjoyed
and tie with, you know.
you can see people's like personality shine
Right.
through.
Yeah.
You're like, I might like that person.
Kind of makes me think like sometimes like when you have like a grandpa, he's just like, hey, come look at this thing I got the other day. Like he just tells you about like some weird new like wrench or thing he got. You're like, I don't know anything about that. Super cool.
Right.
Don't know how I'm gonna use that for the rest of my life.
Love you, Grandpa.
Yeah, love
But
you,
it's
Grandpa.
not scripted. It's not
Yeah.
fake. It's just real. It's
You're just,
authentic.
you're just super pumped about wanting you to know
and
about
if you
this.
don't, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of that kind of vibe.
Right.
That
Yeah.
that vibe's big. When you're just trying to pump it. I don't know. It just doesn't go as far, in my opinion.
Overpolished.
We can all. I
and-
mean, it's like as much content as the average person ingests on
Oh
a
my
day-to-day
gosh,
basis.
yeah.
Oh.
It's not hard to weed out the crap.
Yeah.
To be like, that just doesn't feel like. There's plenty of times like I know not everybody's into them. I might be the only one here, but it's like there's at least at the end of the day, as kind of like my content ingestion, I will sit there and go through TikTok. And there are plenty of times where things will come up and you can tell like this is what somebody does and they sit in front of the camera and they spout something off. And there's been plenty of times that stuff comes up and I can just feel that is the most like scripted,
Yeah.
Right.
and it just doesn't, I'm like, that's not that's not
It's
why
not
I'm
real.
here.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like you're reading.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel genuine. And
Yeah.
I think that everybody kind of has that ability now to just weed out through the BS
For sure.
because
Because you see so much.
you see so much.
It's everywhere. Every
It's
second.
everywhere. And there's even some companies that are trying to do this stuff to seem more genuine,
Right.
and they think that low production quality or whatever might get them there,
Yeah.
and you can still see through it.
Yeah.
There's plenty of those ads that come up, and I'm like, yeah, it's like, my name's Sally, and my favorite place to go is Taco Bell because the end of my night,
Top 10 reasons why to go Taco Bell.
yeah, they're like at the end of my night, all I want is a freaking
The new
Gordita
quesadilla
Crunch.
burrito that's only $2.99 and it's so affordable. I buy it every time.
Only
I'm
available
hungry.
until March 13th. You gotta go get your quesadilla.
And I'm just so afraid I won't be able to eat enough of them before then.
yeah. I'm just like, nope.
Yeah.
So.
And now, a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Passion for Acting Theater Company. Passion for Acting Theater Company has a passion for bringing excellent and entertaining live theater to audiences in Bartholomew County. Passion for Acting Theater Company, created in 2018, performs dinner theater productions at the terrific and eclectic Willow Leaves of Hope on the Square in Hope, Indiana. Their first production, The Miracle Worker, was a huge success and received great reviews from audience members. Since then, Passion for Acting Theater Company has performed 10 shows, ranging from comedies like The Kitchen Witches and The Odd Couple, to drama and suspense like their original murder mystery, Angel Street, to classic children's literature like The Secret Garden and Anne of Green Gables. Their next show will be Kalamazoo, a comedy about what happens when older folks try to get into the online dating scene. Kalamazoo will be performed at Willow Leaves of Hope in February, just in time for a Valentine's Day or to laugh the winter blues away. Enjoy a delicious dinner and a great night of entertainment at Willow Leaves of Hope. Phone number is 812-341-7251. Call now to make reservations for this laugh out loud comedy. Nope.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you pretty much stick to the Joe Rogan podcast. Is there other content that you consume, and like if you're avoiding or trying to consume other stuff, is it conscious or is it just like your personality? You're just like, I'm not drawn to.
I definitely, in terms of consumption, I try to watch stuff that I feel will help me.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I'm still a human where I'm swiping through reels and just whatever comes.
Sucked in the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean, but I am like, if you see, I do post a lot, but as soon as my goal is like when I post TikTok or a platform that I could heavily consume, I delete it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm not, like I said, I post on these platforms all the time because I know how important they are, but I also know how bad they can be.
No, I get it.
And I'm saying for myself, I don't know.
Well, it's a time suck.
Oh, man.
There's been so many times it's like I sit down and you go through and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, it's been an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many
Or you
videos have I just
compare,
watched?
Or you compare with people.
Well,
'Cause
yeah.
You compete and you judge, and it's like, that's not even real.
Yeah.
95% of what you see could just be fake.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just,
It's true.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Don't go to my Instagram.
So
I'm
fake.
kidding. That's a real deal.
Yeah, no, it's just the content that we try to make is like content that we enjoy watching.
Yes.
Right.
So it's like we avoid creating anything that goes into that like negative or the neurotic side of the
Right.
thought. Which I mean, everyone's make a horror short film if we wanted, or something like a thriller, which is
Yeah.
still in that element of like it doesn't make me feel amazing,
Right.
But that's for more of a storytelling thing. But we don't. We're
And
very
those are good.
intentional about
Yeah.
the type of stuff we create.
We went out of our way to make that Christmas short.
Yeah.
I was like, we did it all in vertical. Like, it's just
did it,
very
man.
fun. We were like, oh, if we did this, if we did that, it was just something fun that that would make us laugh, like watching it. And
I
it
like
was a great time.
I like the one outside.
The thank you video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys need to do
Weirdly
more of that.
positive. What was like? We got a lot of.
What do you mean weirdly positive? I produced that.
I expected the creative video. Like, what was the like?
No,
when
I
you
thought
said
it was
you
weird,
liked
too.
it. What was
It
the?
just seemed. Well, I liked the outside. First off, that was cool. But it just seemed, I don't know. It was like it was fruity in terms of how it was going. But
Oh, yeah.
at still at the same time, I was entertained. I was like, that's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Would
Nice.
you have,
And when I say fruity, it's just you just haven't done it. people walking and jingle bells and talking about thank you. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Did you
dig
catch
it.
that, David? He said he liked all the outside stuff.
I did
Yeah.
a lot. Well,
What?
downtown, it was nice. It
It's
just
pretty.
looked nice. It looked really cool.
Did I give a vibe that it
No,
wouldn't be good?
you went out of your way to butt heads with the creative director's decision on that one. Well, I don't even know if it was mine. It was more producer. We wanted to shoot the downtown because it was like a very Columbus thing.
Yes.
But it wasn't just you. We had feedback from most of the team was saying we want more B-roll to show things that we've done
Yeah.
as opposed to just being a talking head piece. And the producer, in all his wisdom on this one, said it's a thank you to the clients,
Yes.
primarily from Columbus. We need to
Exactly.
show off the town.
Yes.
This isn't a time for us to flex.
Don't get me wrong. I didn't say less outside stuff. I wanted just more other things in it.
Showing the town was
Yeah.
that was it.
So I was just curious because this
Yeah.
is the first verbal or like
Right.
one-on-one
So
feedback
did you see the
that we
ghost
got.
video?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just out of
I got to
curiosity.
slap Tristan a couple times.
The ghost video.
So many people asked me if that
so
was
that
real.
was that was vertical only.
Okay.
Really?
So, but
Yeah.
that was where we had like a voiceover.
I saw something spooky.
It's like the night before Christmas kind
you
of.
probably saw the Halloween videos. What you're thinking of?
That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking of.
I was in the room with the
Yeah.
gauntlet and stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
just show them the ghost video then, and
I'll see
maybe
the ghost video.
And again, that's the thing though, is like they were also
Algorithm.
both distributed differently.
Yeah.
Did we? I don't think we did a vertical of the thank you video. No, we did.
We did because it did a lot.
We
better.
hit both.
Yeah.
It did way better on vertical. That's
Yeah.
right. The shorts hit a lot harder. I think we had
Yeah.
like 8 views on like, I don't know what you want to call it, regular YouTube.
Yeah. That's how it always is. Yeah.
I mean, we all know that
It
the
goes back to
algorithm's
that.
pushing it.
Yeah.
Right.
But still, they did. That one ended up with a lot of hits, which is, we as content creators, like, especially when it comes to like, we're videographers, right? And photographers first. So it's like, we think a lot about composition.
Right.
And it does, like, Tristan and I butt heads sometimes with the vertical versus horizontal. Because it's like, I know if I want to be relevant, it's got to be vertical.
Right.
But sometimes, these videos play better to the horizontal look. And I mean, you get more pixels, you get more, imagery. Like
Right.
it's very aesthetically pleasing. And it's so tough to sometimes see videos like that the vertical hits really hard and thousands of people see it. And then you're like, my horizontal, my actual 4K version, like beautiful.
That looks great. Yeah.
It looks fantastic, but it gets like 8 views.
Right.
Well, that's the trade-off for the sacrifice. Is like
I get
as a Spotify artist, hypothetically, if you could pay $30 a day to get more plays, that's your trade-off is tangible money. But it's like if you want to get more views on YouTube, the trade-off is you're sacrificing standard for vertical.
Yeah.
But it's strictly a numbers thing where if you have a 1 hour, 60 minutes, and you have 10-minute videos, you can only watch 6 all the way from start to finish. You can watch 60 shorts. So it's like,
Yeah.
it makes sense that like the algorithm's pushing this and that makes sense why the numbers are inflated, because even if they're only watching 5 seconds of each, which counts as a view on YouTube, I think it's 5 to 15, somewhere in there for retention. And they maybe changed it percentage-wise for shorts, but that's what
Yeah.
it has been up to this point. It's like, it makes sense that those numbers are going to be higher.
Yeah.
But it's also like, what does that translate to if we're not currently receiving ad revenue? Well, in that case, it could convert to subscribers, which converts to growth. So it's this...
So I get it.
Have you
It's
guys
this-
seen
and that channel-
Vsauce? Have you seen Vsauce on YouTube Shorts? Do you know who
Is the
Vsauce
content
is?
he's producing, or did he make a video on
so
it?
he's like an educational YouTuber, but he's also like he likes really weird, silly stuff. And for his shorts, and he like made a short, I think, talking about it. It's like the first like couple frames of a short, people like will decide whether or not.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
Milliseconds of just seeing your video, they'll decide if they want to watch it. And so what he's been doing is like completely unrelated to what he wants to talk about in the short. He'll just be like removing like a giant brick from his mouth. Be like, okay, so like the planet spins around at like 200 miles an hour per second.
Dude,
And he just does something really weird to just
Oh
grab
my
your attention.
gosh.
And he just jumps into something else completely.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
like talking to an infant or like a
Yeah.
toddler. It's like
It's
you
true,
have
though.
to pull out the keys, you do the jingle, and then you can like go into something because you have to get the attention grab first. Or,
Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm going so fast, I have to go back.
You're
'Cause I'm
what
like,
did
oh
you
wait,
just
I
see?
might want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
Well, now
brain is
attention-
catching up.
Attention spans are so limited.
Short.
Yeah.
So it makes it even more fun to try to mass attention. You
Yeah.
know,
It's nuts out there.
Yeah, I kind of want to try to experiment with it now.
I'd be
Like get you
happy
to do some
it.
just
That's how you
really
have to do
weird
it.
stuff.
you have to test all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Test what works, and
We
keep
could do that
trying.
with Tuesday Tips.
Yeah. I want you just like jumping out of a pool or something and just talking about something completely different.
Hey,
In the middle.
do you know how to turn off your iPhone?
Yeah. Or like if
Throw
it
it in a
snows
pool.
again, we can have you like jumping out of a hot tub and running into the snow, like just talking about a tech tip,
Dude.
unrelated.
You just get out of the pool and you drop your phone in like a little bag of ice or of rice or whatever, but never address it and start going into your tip. Like it has
And
nothing.
everybody's like, "What happens to the phone?
Smash
What's
a
going on?"
giant
Right.
plane of glass and like don't acknowledge it.
You know, they're always part two.
Part two, yeah.
Part two
Makes
has
me so
nothing
mad.
to do with it either.
Yeah, you put part 2 up, and it's like, well, this is part 2.
They ask for it and then don't want it when you actually deliver.
Yeah.
Gotta love
And
that.
it's like I've told these guys, like I just watched the daytime TV that people put on TikTok, Judge Judy and Cops.
You watch it on TikTok? Is that what you're saying? You don't even watch the show anymore?
I never was about it
You never
as a
watched Judge
kid.
Judy.
Nah,
Okay.
nah.
That's
that's
like curation, man.
Oh, that's the same with me with Family Guy.
Yeah.
I never watched Family Guy, but I just watch so many reels and TikToks of
Just
it.
watch the clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
I do that with South Park.
Yeah, same with South
I
Park.
can't do a whole episode. Like I tried it a couple times and it just
This I've
like
done.
it
It's
not the
kind of
same.
hurts. Yeah.
It kind of hurts. Kind
It
of hurts
hurts
my
after a while.
being.
Yeah.
But like the clips of it are hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the sad truth for like future filmmakers is like the story driven pieces. It's not that they're not successful, it's just that there's this new route and the total number of viewers it hasn't changed, so it's just being split into different segments. So I don't want to say it's like
it's fragmented.
if one of us wins, that means everybody else is losing, because I think you could still succeed at all of it, but it's just it's like that feast or famine mentality. It's like you see all these like, I can't produce a TV show like as a kid. Like I want to grow up and make animations, but I can never get it to work because people are just going to pull clips, and that's what's successful or
But there's some
something.
TV shows though that just like make filler. Like I was
Yeah.
watching one called Legion. I just finished it, and I swear I skipped like an entire episode because they just decided to do this random B story.
Yeah.
And I got to the end of it, and it was like finally 5 minutes of actually the story I cared about, and like I didn't even like I just was like doing the skip button. I was like stupid.
Yeah.
Like oh okay, the story I wanted.
But is that like one of the subscription based platforms original shows, or is that
No, it was
something?
on FX, and then it got on Hulu.
So
Oh, okay. So
So it was one of the OG normal shows.
recycled.
I've
Yeah.
seen that flip since since subscription platforms come into existence, because like everything's ratings based now. Like the platform wants to have an exclusive so good that people are willing to pay $15 for the single month to binge the whole show and run with that. And because of that, you don't want to have fillers is like the mentality for a good show. You want people just to binge it as quick as possible, which comes with better writing. But then you hear about some of the Disney stuff where maybe there is a little too much filler, or just kind of like this non-essential sub story that's going on in an episode.
It's been this whole season of Yellowstone, man.
Yeah.
And it's like
Filler.
and I think what's going to happen over time is either social media platforms with short form content like TikTok and shorts for YouTube and Reels and all this are either going to get bigger and bigger as people are less drawn to all this filler. Maybe they're more receptive to it. But then again, there's like a whole subculture of people that binge The Office like biannually.
True.
So maybe I'm completely wrong, but I feel like it's going to push more towards actually good stories that keep people engaged and less filler, because that is kind of the direction that media's been going for the last couple of
hope
We're
There's
big
years.
on
shorter
metrics. Like we look at our metrics for a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like if we were to kill absolutely everything that didn't perform absolutely well, like we wouldn't like creatively be able to thrive. I don't think.
But that's like with anything, right? I mean, it's always
Yeah.
like sometimes you got to throw stuff against the wall and see
Oh,
what sticks. I mean, that's entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
That's every video series we start.
I mean, for sure. And a lot of, I mean, it's funny that sometimes it sticks and we just don't do anymore. That's also the fine line of like what makes the company money and what doesn't,
Right.
and how much time do we have, right, to devote to something that isn't generating any really like leads or revenue when you're trying to pay people.
Right.
So that's like, it's all the factors that come into play there, but
Well, you got to find that compromise too between it's thriving and people want to consume it, but it's also something you enjoy making, because long term you're just gonna get burnout on it, and that happens.
But sometimes you have to like grind through and make your nut. You know what I mean? And then get out.
I've not heard this expression before.
Yeah, you got to make your nut. You make your chunk of money, and then you can get out, and then you can go do what you want to do. At least you've got capital to work with now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta push on through.
Yeah.
So where
just
are
trying
you,
to make my nut.
where are you at right now then with that? Because you mentioned that you had a bunch of different jobs,
Right.
And then you end up where you are now.
Yeah.
Are you making that nut?
I hate this expression.
I mean, yes and no.
It's a TD no.
We're getting there. So I say it.
Yeah.
It's a
Hey,
lot.
how old are you, Sam?
24.
24. Yeah.
It's a lot of trial and error. You know, sometimes you don't even make money on certain projects because you just didn't know what was coming your way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I definitely, I'm not afraid of doing things in terms of, especially because my philosophy too, with being my age, is like, I'm so focused on every cent that I make, I just pump right back into it. I love the Mr. Beast mentality of how he just, like, literally everything he's done, he just pumps right back in. I don't know, just that. Granted, it's all perspective, it's all what you have going on situation, but my situation, knock on wood, you know, no children, no wife, no overhead, no carpet, nothing. Why wouldn't I just take it all, put it right back in?
Knock on wood before that. Like, are you like, I have
you never know.
You never know if you
Yeah,
have a
you
kid
don't know
or
what's
a
gonna
wife.
happen.
I
Walk
got a
down the
kid
street,
or a wife.
kid.
Oh, yeah,
You never know. Knock on wood.
Oh man, I got a car. Oh no.
You never know. You never know.
You don't. That's a good
I like
point.
keeping the expenses low, so knock on wood, that keeps
I
going.
understand.
Yeah, no,
We've had this conversation a lot lately.
I love the mentality. It's a good place
I
to
like
be.
having expenses.
No, I like his mentality.
I dig it.
Cutting them.
Yeah.
No.
Just make sure
Says the man who's about to have a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the opposite of cutting expenses,
I
sir.
made an expense.
Willingly.
Gone out of your way.
There goes your nut. But anyways, so what's in the future, man? What are you thinking? Where? I guess maybe like you might have a plan,
right.
and that's fine. But too, like if you have like a dream, you know.
I mean, I definitely a dream / plan would be kind of like the Dave Ramsey, Ben Shapiro, Gary V, building a platform big enough to where, like right now I'm selling a service of clips and content, but I want to have enough attention where someone will just be like, I need to get on his stuff because he has enough attention on his own stuff.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just building like a Joe Rogan, like that to me, that's my dream. Like building a brand of myself that allows for, I mean, look at Joe. He's got Spotify subscription. He's got audio downloads. He's got YouTube. I mean, he's probably got 9 things. I mean, you got merchandise. You could sell mugs with your face on it if you in that regard.
Yep.
I mean, there's so much revenue that can just be made of having attention of yourself. But yeah, that would be the 5-year to 10-year plan. But then in the singular, it's just how can I keep creating these clips and building a business with business owners that they now can turn their quote unquote social media that isn't even touch video into something better. So providing that service and using because one thing I've noted, like even I was asking myself this, it was like, what do I do that's different than any other video company? I'm able to interview, and I've noticed that my interviewing, I don't want to harping, I'm getting better, but my interviewing skills allows for such a interesting response from an owner that may not even be able to talk very well.
Right.
So I guess that Q&A back and forth with myself, I can pull things and pull a lot of spit there. Pull a lot of strings in a person to get that awesome like content. So
Yeah, you're eliciting a response. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that interview style has been really interesting, and you always want to make it look better video wise, but that interview style really has it's paying some dividends. It's interesting because these are owners that aren't paid to be on camera. They're paid to be a plumber or be an electrician. So if I can make them look comfortable and have them reply in a manner that looks great on social, what more can you ask for? Because nobody, I don't care what business you're in, at least in our, like, you don't want, like, social media for most owners is like, ugh.
Yeah.
Gross. Ugh.
Yeah.
One thing I think is beautiful is, like, I bring these people in, they sit down and they leave. They don't do anything else.
Yeah.
Everything else is done.
Make it easy on them.
Make it easy on them.
Yeah.
You know? Because video in itself is just, it's so hard. Social media is, like, so much.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a plumber, you want to, like, fix a sink. You don't want to post on Facebook Reels.
It's the last thing you want to think about. You're
Not
already
even
trying to
thought.
do your job.
Right.
Yeah.
Shoot, we don't even want to do it.
No, I don't even want to do it. I'm literally
That's why we
trying.
hired someone.
I'm literally trying to outsource, like, because it probably takes me 35 minutes to post on every platform I'm on. And, like, I love doing it, but I'd rather outsource that, if that makes any sense. It's just time.
It's time that you could be using.
If I want to post once a day, do 35 minutes times how many weeks are in a year? 50,
that's another interview. 30 minutes, right? That's another interview.
Oh yeah, it's a
Pump
whole
another interview out.
So yeah, it's time, and but you need to be doing it. That's the thing. Every owner knows back of their mind, like, I need to be posting on social media. So
right.
So I guess I'm trying, and it's a fulfilling thing. It's like when you see these owners get interviewed and they see the end result, it's like they're like super happy. They're like, man, I just got to talk about my baby, aka their business. That's a pretty interesting thing too. So, and if they get leads, that's always fun.
That makes it.
They get some leads from it, then it's really fun.
That's all of it, right?
Then they're making money and they see themselves on camera.
They're like, wait a second.
Right.
This is a good investment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely the Dave Ramsey, Ben Shapiro route, and then in the short term, just building as many clients as I can and producing a good service.
Growing up, were there people that you looked up to like, so like I really like Daniel Craig and like Conan O'Brien. Were there like people in that talk show realm or radio hosts, like the Bob and Tom thing that had appeal for you, or was it not until after hearing about Gary Vee and stuff like later on that really influenced this desire to public speak?
Gary Vee definitely had a desire, but I always, even in high school, like, I don't know, mentally, I was just like, man, I think I could like do some radio stuff. I don't know, but
it just felt right.
It just felt right. It was just like, it was like I was searching this career in high school. I was like searching like the different ins and outs of it, because I always thought my philosophy was, that Warren Buffett quote: "If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life." And it's like, how could you not listen to the radio? These guys are having a great time. They're just talking. They get paid to do that. That doesn't make sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I guess I was always decently good at talking, so that podcast kind of molded that together. To where that came into fruition. But yeah, in terms of who I looked up to, I'm trying to think when I was younger who I would have looked up to, because I don't even know if Joe Rogan was in play yet. Who was that really old guy? Johnny Carson.
Yeah,
I watched a lot of him. That definitely played a part. But yeah, I mean, he's really old.
No,
but,
I know.
Yeah, but he was interesting to me. I mean, how he does his interviews. I just was like, man, I could maybe do that. Or the Larry King.
Oh yeah, Larry
he was
King.
cool too. Yeah,
he was still doing it for a long time, even after his show ended.
Yeah, that was kind of like, man, I could do that, but it'd take 10 years. That's how any dream works.
Well, yeah, right. You got to put the time.
Live at least a decade. But
that's the thing we always try to remind ourselves, right? We're
it
like,
takes so long.
It does. And we're
but
like,
if you stop, it's over.
Exactly.
So, gotta keep that in mind.
Gotta keep grinding.
Just dies.
Yeah.
Content.
There's this guy that I was watching. He would make tutorials for a program called Blender. It's a free 3D animation software. It's like amazing. It's like to the level where like people can make Pixar level films in it. And one day he just decided like to switch his channel over to be like about him walking across the United States.
Interesting.
And then
1 million subs or something silly.
Yeah. And then like after 3 weeks he was like, yeah, you know what, never mind, I'm going to make the tutorials again. And like he just doesn't like really acknowledge it. It was just like, why would you? I don't know. Like he just abandoned what he was good at, decided to do something else, and then immediately gave up and went back.
I respect it.
Like, I mean, I don't
tried.
know.
He tried it. It wasn't for one day.
Yeah.
He tried it for several months, wasn't it? It wasn't just weeks. Like he put in a good amount of effort, and it's like, I love that about an artist.
I was into it when he was doing it, but then he acted like it almost never happened. I was like, Like
Yeah, that's
like
weird.
I was on board. Like I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
You don't know what the motivating factors
Yeah.
were. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? His wife might have been like, "Hey, you better get back on them tutorials."
He could have
We
been
need that
like,
money.
that's not making money walking
Right.
around.
Yeah.
Potential.
I didn't know he ever came back. Actually, I assumed.
Yeah.
I lost interest when that happened because that wasn't something that appealed to me. But I respected the fact that he was just like, I'm just going to up and drop all this. And there's a lot of YouTubers right now that are going through
it was a
burnout
risk,
because of
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes you have to pivot. Sometimes it works, or sometimes you're Michael Jordan. You go to the baseball.
I mean, I love his tutorials. and
That's a good
stuff.
analogy there. Michael
Yeah.
Jordan, he's a prime example.
Yeah.
Go to the baseball.
Well, I mean, I couldn't remember what the first letter
No, it's
is.
just funny.
MLB.
Yeah.
MLB. I was
Yeah.
going to say NBA, but I was like, that's where he started.
The baseball.
Yeah, no, he went and played, and then they had the whole Looney Tunes movie about it, Space Jam. And
So it worked
starts
out.
off with
Warner
him being,
Brothers, yeah.
Starts off with him being bad at baseball.
Oh yeah.
That's-
You know me in sports, man.
Mm.
Dude, it's come on, man.
It's like
Why do they call it
Michael
football
V.
when
Jordan.
they throw it with their hands?
They
Like,
kick it.
he's
One
an
guy-
actor. He
one guy
doesn't play
kicks it.
baseball. he doesn't kick the field goals.
But sometimes it pays off whenever you pivot.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Trying
But
to
just
think
try
of-
it.
It's
I mean,
like
trying new things is always
Was it
good.
Donald Glover is one of my favorite comedians of
he's
all
a-
time.
oh,
And then he's
yeah.
like, I want to direct now. After
Dude,
I
his stuff
rapped,
was awesome.
It's baller too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Lil Dicky did the same thing.
Yep.
David Bird. Is it David Bird? I think is his full name.
Sounds right.
David Bird.
Yeah.
Isn't that a baseball player?
No, that's Larry Bird.
Larry
He played
Bird.
basketball.
He's from Indiana.
Yeah, he is. But like, that's another guy.
I knew something about sports.
There you go. I got you.
I know a lot of old stuff.
He is pretty old. But yeah, it's like it's another guy who can write, shoot, direct, stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
and act. And it's like I love that somebody could pivot that. And
Yeah.
while I really miss all the stand-up that Donald Glover used to do, and all the rap music that he used to produce, it's like the
Yeah.
fact that he's going on and making shows that I love, and I can still go back and listen to the music I love. Like, I want more of it, but sometimes you have to be okay with like a series coming to an end and not Disney buying it and greenlighting it for another remake for the 15th time. And
You're gonna beat that dead
Yeah.
horse.
What-
stop, let it die. It was beautiful.
What would you guys pivot to if you had to pivot to something right now?
Right now,
Yeah. What would be the thing you like?
Sam
I would go
first.
to that.
Public
Yeah.
speaking.
Public speaking.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I want to do public speaking.
he's like, I'm ready to
should-
pivot right now.
You should
Let's-
do that.
I really
go.
do.
You could do that.
But I don't know how to even hit it, you know?
Oh.
To me, it's one of those that'll be like 5 years and 5, 6, like Gary Vee, referencing him. I think he started his speaking career just like somebody just cold emailed like, hey, come speak at this event. He did it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm shooting for.
You should talk to Ant Blair. He's in our building, actually. We've worked with him a lot. He
He does public speaking.
He does public speaking. He
That's
got
crazy
into a
to me.
TEDx talk and stuff. He's
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Like, I think I could do it, but it's like, don't even know where to start. You know,
Yeah.
like how do I get paid to speak, let alone interviews? you
so.
know?
His rule. I'm gonna misquote him to death, I'm sure. And
Sorry, man.
He'll correct me, but sorry, Ant. He got his start by doing 3 larger public speaking events for free on something
yeah.
that he was knowledgeable on.
Right.
And then you take those 3, make sure they're recorded, take a reel out of those 3, and then send it off to something that you want to do
true.
it for paid.
Really?
And that's the same thing we do with video. It's like,
Yeah. True, though.
I want to try a new service out. It's like, let's do a music video. Shoot one for free, promo, discounted, trade a service, whatever.
Right.
Have a proof of concept, ship it.
right.
Show everybody, what do you think? Good feedback, start charging. Bad
Right.
feedback, do another one. Or call it a day. Maybe like pivot again.
Yeah.
But his was rule of 3 because you have to be able to show that you're very competent, because public speaking is a very high risk thing as opposed to like music video or a car highlight video or something like that, or automotive photos. It's like, oh, let's just do a reshoot. You know, there's not really a reshoot for public speaking. It's like, dang, man, you like, even Dave Chappelle has a biff every once in a while. It's like, not
Yeah.
every joke's going to land. Not every public speaking event's going to be flawless. Like, Bill Burr, the whole Philly boost situation. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't nail everything, even if you're a legend.
Right.
That's true, though.
yes.
We're all human at the base of it all.
So
That's part
yeah,
of it.
I'd recommend reaching out to him though if you genuinely want some feedback, because he's been
shoot
doing it for a
contact.
long time.
Well, I've done
Yeah.
a few public speaking,
Yeah,
so I have some footage online too.
There you go.
that's a
So-
good start.
Yeah, which is interesting. Just few chamber of commerce type of stuff.
that's
So
where he
that's
got his
cool.
start.
Something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and still put you in front of a group of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was about 60 to 80.
Yeah, that's a good size group, man.
Plus, you
That's-
got your show.
that's
I mean,
scary, man.
That's something on its own. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes talent to be able to engage somebody for 30
Oh,
minutes.
for sure.
Linear edit style where it's like you're not really. I assume you're not chopping out a whole lot in
No,
between. So
not
it's
much.
like, yeah, that's a talent in itself.
Right.
I know. I think we have the opportunity, or to some of us, to potentially get up and speak in front of some people at some point this year, and I've been thinking a lot about it. I don't mind doing it,
I'd love to.
but I think it would be fun.
That's
Scary.
Did I ever tell you I got a job offer for public speaking?
No, I didn't know that.
It was actually at
What?
Cummins.
That's scary.
Really?
Yeah, it was my my
Scary.
capstone project. So
Wow.
I
Was it high school?
No, college. It was
College.
capstone. So
Hmm.
I had
Who would have thought?
a team like of 4 or 5 people, and I was kind of like just like the lazy kid in class where it's like I would do enough to get by.
Right.
I was more interested in other things. My number one goal was to graduate debt free, so I didn't care about grades as much. I just wanted the degree, and I wanted to make enough money doing my internship to pay it off. So throughout this whole time, like the teachers recognized me as like the lazy kid or whatever, and we get to the capstone project, and I said I want to be project manager, and they're like, why? Nobody understood
Trying to
why.
fail us.
Yeah, and they knew I ran my business on the side, and my degree was in engineering, and nobody understood why I was there, and I was like, it's my fallback. That's all it was. And there was a kid that was already assigned project manager, and he didn't want it, but he also didn't really care. But he was just like, fine, you can have it. I don't care. And we run this project and everything. And we get to the end, and this whole time, all the professors are just like, you kind of suck. One of them said that he doesn't like the way I smirk, and he says, yeah, you're going to get hit someday. He was a really nice guy. Actually, another teacher said she passed me solely because she never wanted to see me again.
Dang.
And I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
so the
That's
fact
rough.
that I had my senior capstone class, and I go up, and my speech teacher there, he told me I should go into public speaking, and I was like, whatever. And we go to the capstone, and I present, and then afterwards, my professor, the one that was probably the hardest on me, but he was also the smartest there, so
Right.
he didn't want a kid slipping through with a degree that wasn't earned. And I think the first time I earned his respect in that manner was afterwards in the hallway. He comes out and he's like, hey, I just want to let you know that guy in there, he's a higher up manager at Cummins, and he wants to interview you. And I was like, why? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know.
No one knows
He's like-
why.
he's
What
like-
does he see?
He's like, no, you did a really good job. You conveyed the information really well, and the public speaking was spot on. And I was like, wow, thanks. I didn't practice at all. And he's like, I know, and that's what pisses me off. So, and that happened a lot throughout college. Was just, I really enjoyed the public speaking. I really enjoyed making presentations. I really enjoyed running projects, and that's what I do now
Yeah.
for this company. So I don't know if
Interesting.
I need a pivot. I kind of enjoy what I do.
This was your pivot.
My pivot was I enjoy what I do. I just wish we could do more of it.
Yeah, no, I think you and I joining forces was the pivot,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
That was
my pivot. It's a big decision.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know.
Well, now we both took a pay cut for it, so
Yeah.
I would say that was the pivot.
Well, I had a conversation with somebody today, and they're like, I can never have a business partner. And I was like, you know what's funny? I was like, I don't know why, but I just had a gut feeling that we were going to get along. So far, so good.
Yeah,
I don't hate
That was
you
the
yet.
second impression.
Yes, yeah, yeah. That was the second impression. I'm like, wow, this guy acts really stupid, but he's actually smart.
Well, you find a partner where you guys do different things is big.
Oh yeah,
Different strengths and weaknesses.
Yes, exactly.
That's all. What it's all about.
And that's what all our stuff is based in. Is just like it was honest. Well, yeah. Strengths and weaknesses is more like I don't want to do this.
Or that.
You do this.
You're really good at this, and I
Yeah.
suck at it.
it's a bit of both because it's
Yeah, for sure.
The things that I enjoy and the things that you enjoy have a little overlap, but they're pretty far off
Yes.
enough where we rarely butt heads because we're rarely passionate about the exact same thing at the exact same time.
Yeah, that is my favorite thing. Somebody will ask a question in the office, and it's like, Tristan will be like, Cole does not care. And I'm like, you are correct.
Yeah.
Make the decision.
And there's other times where you get asked and you'll look over at me and you see the look on my face and you look back at whoever's asking the question. And you're like, yeah, this is my decision to make. It's like, isn't this a director one? Like, nope, producer today. Or you pull out the director hat. You're like, I'm directing now.
Oh, wait a second. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Mr. Pivot?
Oh, my pivot would be...
You have to censor your
I don't
answer.
know.
Is it what we talked about this an hour ago?
I don't even remember what we talked about an hour ago.
What did we talk about?
Our
an
3
hour
p.m.
ago?
meeting?
3 p.m. Oh. I don't know. I mean, I really like software development.
You don't know?
Software development is a big thing. Like we were...
That'd be tight.
I was trying to figure out a budgeting app. And I couldn't find one that I liked a lot. And I was doing everything in spreadsheets. It was a total nightmare.
You were
and
good at it,
I was
though.
about to make...
It was working,
It
and
was
I
a-
liked it because I
yeah.
wanted to copy it.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
like, I wanted to take it and monetize it.
So I had a spreadsheet doing everything, but it was like trying to get all my all the transactions from all like the different cards that I have and whatever. It was horrible. I didn't like it. It gave me like anxiety thinking about it. And I was about to just I know how to make software and stuff because I went to college for it. And I'm kind of doing it's called business analyst stuff now, where I kind of figure out problems in a business and I try to help it be more efficient and simplify processes. That's what I do here at TRIFLIX, and it's kind of what I do at my main job at Cummins. But I would probably pivot to software development because I was about to just make my own budgeting app. But then Tristan found one called youneedabudget.com or
Yep.
YNAB for short.
Or wine app.
And,
For the illiterate.
wine app. And it did almost everything my spreadsheet was doing, and it did a little bit more, and it did everything automatically every day. And now I enjoy doing my budget stuff now.
Yeah. Anytime someone's stressed about budgeting,
Yeah.
I don't go out of my way to bring it up unless I'm unless it's really fresh on my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
But after it's been 2 weeks, I'm like, whatever. But if somebody brings up stress, family members or friends, I'm like, have you considered there's community downtown if you
Right.
need budgeting counseling, and they're actually a block away. Highly recommend them if you need assistance, for someone to walk you through a process. But if you're pretty hands-on and tech savvy, just grab an app. There's so many. There's the Dave Ramsey one. You said you're a fan of Dave Ramsey. His is Every Dollar.
Every Dollar. Yeah.
Mint was one that Cole started
I
off
hated
with.
Mint.
I wasn't
I did
a
not like
fan,
Mint.
but it's very Apple-esque where you can put in your data and it just
Yeah.
it just works.
They're
And
gonna
if you
get-
don't
yes,
want
it's
to,
very basic.
if you
Yeah.
don't want to super
switched.
micromanage,
Get off me.
Or just write it down to start out.
Yeah.
some people,
Yeah, for sure.
That's
For sure.
that's what I recommend. Is
Most people, when it comes to spending money, it's all about just being aware.
yeah.
Be aware of what you're purchasing and spending. That's been my kind of.
It's pretty hard for people
Yeah,
to just,
well, they just
to
don't
think
care.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just want to look at the pile of money and they're like, okay, I can spend that much.
One technique I did even before I did it for my business was everything I bought, I kept the receipt and I kept it in my wallet till I got home and added it to my spreadsheet. I
Oh,
use a
Lord.
spreadsheet, by the way.
Yeah.
And that subconsciously always is this really what I need to buy? It's a
Yeah.
receipt thing.
Yeah, no, it's smart.
It really
It's
helps.
tangible, yeah.
It really helps. Right
Interesting.
now I
Yeah.
have a receipt that wasn't even for a business purpose, but I kept it just so I know to add it in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude,
I get that.
Yeah.
I respect that
Oh, dude.
grind. That's
Yeah.
not,
I'm so aware of my money. It's I talk to some people I haven't checked my bank account in a few weeks, and I almost just want to crash on the floor. I check it probably 4 or 5 times a day, which is a little,
Yeah.
very excessive. But I just
do you pay? When you say you had receipts for everything, are you somebody that doesn't use card at all? Or you always pay cash? You don't do
always
online?
always card.
Yeah.
Do you
But
print
I
off your
keep
receipts
cash.
online?
No,
No. Okay.
if I need to, if I somehow
Okay.
don't get one back.
okay.
But yeah, I just
But it's the tangible part of it
Yeah,
for you.
no,
that's all it is.
It's really
just
interesting.
the accountability of knowing what you're spending.
Okay.
Some people
Smart.
they float, man. They just
Yeah.
I don't know what I spent this month.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I was
bought.
getting real into
Who
it with
would
my
do that?
spreadsheets.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
99% of America would do that.
Yeah, I get it.
100%.
I get it.
Oh, dude, it
Yeah.
stresses
I used
me
to
out
be
thinking.
I used to be super very like you,
Just be
Sam.
aware of your money, man.
Like super I had all the spreadsheets. I mean, I still have the spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And then I got a little lax the last couple years, so I had to just reel it all back in.
But don't be one thing I'm trying in 23. Don't be controlling of it. Like, don't, at least in business, don't be afraid to spend money on things that, like, don't let it affect you. Like, I got a few parking. My sister came and helped me build something. I got 2 parking tickets today.
You got
for
a
me and my
case.
sister. Yeah, I got 2 parking tickets. But like normally, I would just let that get to me, like mad, because I got to spend $40. Can't control. Let's go. Like,
Where'd you park here?
Yeah, I may get a third. I don't know where.
I'm kidding. I just was messing with you.
I think it's 3 hours. So
I was screwing with you.
Okay. Yeah, I was like,
They
if I get a
stop
third
clocking.
After 5 o'clock, it's
Okay. No, I saw. Yeah, but no.
Sorry, I couldn't.
No, that's good stuff.
I get it though, and
You
that's
see what I'm saying? Like, especially in business, you can't sit around and be so like, about even, especially in marketing for your business, like paying for that BNI or paying for those different things. You just have to think of where this could go. I don't know.
There's a fine line,
Business
right?
though is a whole different ballpark than just personal.
I mean, I think though too. I think there's a fine line in business and personal and stuff. And I mean, obviously, you guys, David and Sam, like you guys are managing your finances for yourselves,
right?
Tristan and I are managing finances for families,
right?
Well,
True.
Everything's ROI to me, and I know that's not how everyone thinks, but like. I get it. I see things as transactional. So you have time, you have money, and you have resources that are other. But like everything is just an exchange of those things. It's just money's the one that everyone agrees upon is like the U.S. dollar.
Easily quantitative.
So it's like if you only have X amount of time and X amount of money, and it's like.
Yes.
If you want to make more money, you're going to have to put in more time or find a more lucrative way. And it's just all this shuffling. But when it comes to it, it's like, do you want to work more to play more video games? Like you have to go purchase those video games. But that also takes away time because you're playing video games. But you can't sacrifice fun. Like you have to find some outlet in life. And there's free things, you like going for hikes and going for walks and working out and hang out with friends and stuff, home gyms if you make that initial investment, or you can do the subscription model and pay for gyms, or you can subscription to Netflix. It's like everything is this return of an investment of spending time with family. Car drive, that costs gas. You have to spend money to eat out with friends and family. It's like, but if you're always looking at it from the perspective of
saving a buck.
I'm a self-employed person, so it's like I have no paid days off.
Right.
So that means I'm never going to take a paid day off. Sorry, honey, no vacations ever, because everything is, if you're always viewing it that way, that's like you're cutting yourself off in a way. That's like you have to take that time to evaluate what's important.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big part of what I like business analyst wise is that I get to go in and figure out like, okay, these are the current systems and things that you're doing. And if they're detrimental to what you actually are trying to accomplish, we need to change that. Like, so if like budgeting, the way you're budgeting is actually making it harder for you to live your life, like we need to adjust it so you're benefiting from it financially, like personally. And like, that's why switching over to YNAB like worked so well for me, because like I knew I was taking care of my finances. It made it easier for me to do everything else I wanted to do, and actually like made it more freeing for me to actually
the transaction
use my
import.
money. Yeah.
You said it was really time consuming on the Excel sheet, and you said that was like one of the things that it freed time for you to do other things. And while it costs a small, I think it's $100 a year, how much time do you save?
Tons.
And some people that's worth it, some people it isn't, and that's just the evaluation. It's like for us, we want to buy a new camera, or we want to, I don't know, throw a holiday party. And it's like, at the end of the day, what is it worth to us?
Yeah,
right.
We picked holiday party this year. Next year, we'll see.
It's hard for people to slow down and see like the benefits to like changing things, because they get very stuck in their ways. Like this is how we always done it.
I can't get rid of that.
Worst. Like one of like the big things that I hate hearing is like, this is how we've always done it. This is how we do it. I was like,
I'm sure you've heard that, Sam.
But why? It's like we could change this and we can make it easier for everybody. Like everybody will understand better what's going on, spend less time doing it, make more money. Like, you know, it makes sense to like sit down, like think about what we're doing.
We only use newspaper ads.
Oh, gosh.
Only newspaper ads.
Or just expanding things.
And it's what we've done, and it's what gets us, you know, it's our highest ROI. You're like,
and it's not because like just because you've always done it doesn't mean it's bad. But like, you know, like just sitting down and thinking about like, does anything need to change? Like if not, like we can keep it how it is, but maybe just change it a little bit here or there. And like, you know, the system's supposed to work for you. You're not supposed to work for the system.
Oh, for sure.
And that's like one of the biggest things, like learning how to like adjust working.
Yeah, flexibility and tweaking along the way.
My dad was scheduling upwards of could be 5 tint jobs, 3 remote starts in a day in a booklet.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's name, number, what we're doing. I mean, price.
Yeah.
You look
like,
at it.
but look, you know,
What's this Google Calendar, Dad? Or remember the booklet was only at the front, so all the text, everyone had to walk back and forth, look at the booklet.
Oh yeah.
Now the calendar's on every laptop.
Oh man.
Nobody walks anyway. It's chicken scratch. You're writing it out with a pen. I mean, people's handwriting's disgusting.
But
You can't
return
read
on
that.
investment. Think of all
It's true,
those
though.
interactions you could have had in person up front.
Yeah.
Right. yeah.
All those
Yeah.
relationships
Is
that
it
could
worth
have
the
been
trade-off?
forged.
Yeah.
Being able to access it on your phone in the field if you ever had to go out.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to call in like, hey, can you go to the front office, check the book for me?
Yeah, sorry, they're
Yeah.
out today. She's sick.
The difference is now, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I think you guys will agree, but it's like there was a time where a lot of these things were optional.
Oh, for sure.
It's not
Oh, yeah.
optional anymore.
No.
And people
you
are-
innovate or die.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think business
Especially in
owners
business.
are realizing this.
Yeah.
And
Or they retire.
retire,
Yeah.
right? And then their kids
Right.
Yeah.
or whoever takes over, if somebody does, right, then they're like,
Sure.
okay, now it's time to usher in the new segment, you know, or the new styles of marketing.
Yeah. Sure.
And it's like I just heard that recently. There was somebody at our church, business owner, was struggling with content creation, and it's actually a lead for us. But you know, it was like, I need this now, you know, and they were actually looking to fill positions, but
Yeah.
they found that it was easier to use something like social media
Right.
to find candidates than it was to, you know, use the traditional methods, right?
Yeah.
Take an ad out in the post.
And I think the timing is pretty important too with it because, like, you don't want to, like you said, it's
You don't want to play
these are
catch up.
non-optional things, and play devil's advocate for it because you said we'd all agree with you. There are things that are just trends, or
Oh, for sure.
or
For
they're
sure.
trends that will become consistent over time, and you just don't always have the ability to predict it because sometimes the timing's just not right. So with AR, this is something that Apple's really good about doing, where they have a product that everyone else has been making for years, and then they're like, all right, we made it better, and now everyone's going to
Yeah.
use it because we said so.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like AR's been around since like 08 or whatever, whenever
Yeah, like
Google
Google.
Lens
Yeah.
came out, and everybody's like, these are stupid. And then Oculus came out, and they're like, oh, this is so cool. Which that one's more of the VR side. But now that kind of paved this way where AR is being accepted by Google or by Apple, who's like going 100% in, and they're like, it's supposed to come out in this spring, but it's going to come out in Q3 allegedly, according to whatever leaks are out right now. And it's like,
There's a lot right now.
in 08, timing was wrong. Over 15 years later, or whatever it is, I don't
Even
remember
Nintendo,
exactly.
they had the Visual Boy,
Yeah.
where
Oh,
it was
that's
like just
right.
some headset that was only like red in color, and like it was
Yeah.
just a wacky thing. Nobody understood it.
But
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like really far fetched because it's like, well, as a business owner, what does that matter? But it's like we have clients that are using it for telecoms where I want to show somebody overseas or just maybe in another county, another city, working from home. It doesn't matter. Like a tech in manufacturing, it's like, I want to show you this assembly. Can you walk me through the manufacturing process? Can you walk me through the repair process? Whatever that communication needs to be, you can integrate reality with whatever virtual elements you need to add to it. And in 08, it probably would have been a good investment for a lot of companies, but the vision wasn't there. And now that it's becoming more mainstream, it's more affordable. So the early adopter fees that come in with it. So
It makes me
Google
think of
Calendar, I thought that was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a little more
Kidding.
complex.
It makes me think of the early days of YouTube, where like
Yeah.
seeing like the first like sequels to like popular videos show up, and or like Charlie the Unicorn 2. You're like, there's a second one, and like
Oh my
everybody's losing
gosh.
their mind.
Then they make 8
And,
more.
yeah, and now it's like everybody always makes like hundreds of like videos of like
Right.
of
Now
their
you got-
content.
Jimmy Fallon, it's like
Yeah.
the first late night talk show to work out their way to YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's like good for them because they got in
Yeah.
cahoots
That paid
with
off.
Apple. They paid off. Now they're the front page all the time. They always get the most views, but they could have been in months, years earlier if they
Yeah.
chose to.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
they would have spent money to, you know,
Yeah.
be in early and
And I'm just
potentially have
curious
a
what
fail.
that new type of content's going to be for like TikTok. just because it's so different with all the different formats. What's going to be those new trends that become like the staple?
Well, you're seeing it right now with GPT.
Just dances.
You think so?
Open GPT right now is
the AI chat.
AI chats, AI voices, all this stuff it's the trend, and the question is, what is the long-term payoff, and
what's the
should I
stick?
invest?
Yeah.
Microsoft's allegedly going to buy. Is it Open GPT?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to allegedly purchase it for $10 billion at the point of recording this.
Yeah.
And it's
Isn't
like
that nuts?
$10 billion.
$10 billion.
you don't
Come
want
on.
to call him a sellout, because who in their right mind would say no? You
Yeah.
know,
That's what I said. I was like, dude,
They're like, all right, you can have whatever I'm working on. You can have TRIFLIX.
you can have
Goodbye.
it all. Peace out.
Yeah.
10
But the
billion.
question is, are they
That's a lot.
for a
piece of software.
To
Yeah.
us, it's a
That's
no-brainer.
crazy.
But the question is, like, long term, are they shooting themselves in the foot where
Yeah.
Firefox could have bought Google? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it like a Bitcoin where it could just explode 10 years down the road and that guy's digging in a landfill trying to find his hard drive full of Bitcoin?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is that a true story?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
literally happened.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Or
That
like a
feels
guy bought
bad.
a pizza for like 5 Bitcoin or something.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Seen that.
It's so sad.
It
To
was the
think
guy who
about.
forgot his password too.
Yeah, there's so many stories
Dude
like
had
that.
like millions.
So maybe
Gone.
this chat GPT thing is maybe worth like $1 trillion and we don't even know.
True.
Yeah.
Or it could be worth nothing.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And that's
Hey,
the
but if I'm
risk.
open AI, I'm happy. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like-
I think 10 billion is all right.
That's
to
it.
sell.
I'll be all right with that.
all comes down to that.
I can make it happen.
Yeah.
10 bill.
I don't even know if I could sell or spend
Cutting you off.
10 billion.
I care.
You could
We
spend.
got to end it.
I'd help you spend 10 billion.
Oh, you're so
Easily.
gracious.
I
So
know, right?
kind.
Such a nice friend. Okay, we're gonna wrap things up. Sam, definitely appreciate you coming in, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you've enjoyed your stay with us.
I've never done this.
Yeah, just the banter.
I did it recently with Wyatt and Cam, but
Yeah.
this was more just, I definitely had an agenda on that probably.
I get
You
it.
see what I'm saying? This was
I
just
get it.
freely talking. I think about every interview I've ever done, I've always had an agenda of like where the clips or marketing. It was weird just to talk.
That's
I
why
didn't,
I
I
was-
didn't know that was a thing.
That's why I was excited to have you in, because I figured,
I feel normal.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just try to give.
Yeah.
We try to give people an opportunity, just to
I
like
never
The real
talk.
side,
chill and
Yeah.
hang out.
Normally, I'm always putting on that character. Same Foutch Show. Why someone want to work with you? Why someone? It's like I always play that. I always try to think of how I can bring him an ROI in terms of marketing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird to like be normal. So,
Well, we
cheers
tell
to
everybody
that.
like you're more than welcome to come back whenever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we love to
Mhm.
have like reoccurring, and like especially after the first episode, like the people should know who you are.
For sure.
So like come on and then we'll talk about whatever the heck you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next time I'm coming back is when I'm interviewing someone in Columbus.
There you go.
That's when
There
I'm
you go.
coming back. Here.
Well, so while you have the opportunity, here's your floor. Kind of tell people where they can find your stuff, kind of what you got going on. That way they know where to find you. And of course, we'll link Sam's information and everything he's got going on as well. But I don't know.
So
you got the floor.
I'm on every platform besides Pinterest. And yeah, I know that's a little broad, but you can find. I use about the same name, Samuel Justice Foutch. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. Let's see if I can rattle them off. I have someone.
MySpace.
No, I'm not on MySpace anymore.
MySpace.
I think that's it. But
Yeah.
Samuel Justice Foutch, and then samefouch.com is my website. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right.
You heard it here, folks.
No OnlyFans. Got it.
You said you were on almost every platform.
Yeah.
Selling them feet pics.
We might have to bleep that.
It's different.
Oh, whatever.
Dude, he listens to Gary Vee. You can't tell me you haven't heard
yeah.
Gary Vee talk about
No,
all of
Gary
the
Vee's
possibilities of making income.
All the possibilities.
All of
we have
them.
to consider them all.
Dude, this man tells people to go to
TRIFLIX.
garage sales and upsell. You think he's not telling people
Yeah.
to take 30 seconds to post a photo?
What do you upsell at?
Like you go to a garage sale, you buy stuff, and then
Yeah.
you sell it
And then you
online
turn
for an
around and
upsell.
sell
it. Oh.
That is like a very large part of his ideas. Anything in your home that you don't use within like the last month, sell it online.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you can go out and find, upsell. Like this dude lives, breathes, eats money. Like
Yeah.
everything is a
We shouldn't
margin.
eat money.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
he's that rich he can.
Well,
True.
blowing his nose on $50 bills.
Nah,
That'd be awesome. Okay. You know where to find us. Welcome to the new year.
Happy New Year.
We're back on the weekly basis, so
Yeah.
you've got lots to look forward to.
Yep.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
For all the people
You
that
clap.
come back
TRIFLIX
every
Cast.
week,
Find us. Listen. We're
Yeah.
on every platform.
we're glad you made it. And if you don't like us, just hate us, can you hate us?